Hello, friends. Welcome, one and all. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, underway for another day. It is episode 989. 989. Backwards or forwards, that's a lot of shows, and we appreciate you being here for as many as you possibly could. You know, in episode 1000, we're going to try to find people. We're going to do a dedicated segment of individuals who perhaps listened to us on show. What is that? Oh, why is, you know, don't get me off on a toot. I can't stand if there's a long list of things I can't stand in this world.
Hi.
Hey, Jackson, what's going on? Speaking of, I was just talking about you, buddy. Jackson's here. He's behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker set is as good as possible. Thank you, Jackson, because I would not have done the intro to the show. I would have just gotten off on a toot. Ken Weaver's behind Jackson. Two panes of glass, or probably actually four, if I think about it, panes of glass, separate Ken Weaver and myself. He's over in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living, delivers them twice an hour when it breaks. What is up, Ken Weaver?
How about you boys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I'd like to be outside.
Yeah, nice day today, isn't it?
Ooh, 74 degrees.
Ken, dare I say that on this March 3rd in the year of our Lord 2026, that spring is right around the corner. It's right around the corner.
But we're not out of the woods
It's
yet.
right around the corner.
We're not out of the woods
You
yet.
think we'll get it? You think we'll get a stinky cold weather blast before it's all said and done?
I hope not.
I think we're done.
Lord,
I get a feeling that we're done. I get a feeling that, you know, Mother Nature, the Lord Almighty, they all got together, you know, and they're like, you know what? That winter ice storm popped them pretty good, and we had no idea that Teresa Broyles-Applin would be so horrible at her job. So let's just let them slide on any more cold weather.
Either that or, look, Weaver's living in Tennessee now. Let's make winter last until June there.
Well, that's an option, I suppose. The worst winter storm that I've ever experienced happened in March, like middle of March.
There can be some bad ones in March.
Yeah, middle of March. That was in, I think that was the blizzard of 93.
Yeah.
I want to say that. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Blizzard of 93, big snowstorm, Carrollton, Georgia, west of Georgia College. That's when my buddy Wayne and I almost died trying to walk home to get food supplies because we were told to get supplies the night before and all we bought was liquor. That's a true story. Well, I take that back. We bought 2 bags of chips, too.
Well, you had your priorities straight.
Well, I thought our priorities were I stand by that decision to this second, to this moment. I stand by that decision. Anyway, Weaver's over in News Closet B. What anything going on that I need to know about, Ken, besides the Iran war?
No. There's really nothing out there that is brand new. I mean, everybody's still regurgitating Bill and Hillary's Epstein files deposition.
Boy, here, Bill, occasionally I can hit on a good Bill Clinton. It takes me a second to get it. Here's the zone. There's the honey hole. I did not have sexual relation. You know, I love it. I love the fact we hit Iran. You know why they're Weaver? Because they ain't talking about me. Nobody's talking about me. Yeah, he loves it, right? I mean, Bill Clinton is all about it.
Bill Clinton, I mean, dude, he's not even afraid of anything.
I didn't even do
that
nothing.
dude.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Slick Willie.
Oh, man, no. Well, it depends on what the definition of is. Because, you see, if you say if by is you mean is, then there's one thing. But if by is you mean is
the I dotted in the word is.
And see, if it's the beginning of the sentence, then it's different.
Other thing is, we got an astronaut running for governor, apparently.
Yes, so apparently Butch Wilmore, right?
Yes.
Butch Wilmore is running is he running as a Republican?
It says Republican on the Secretary of State's website.
So Butch Wilmore has thrown his hat in the ring. Apparently John Rose and Monty Fritz and Marsha Blackburn weren't enough. Now we got Butch Wilmore. And I wonder, does this concern... Marsha Blackburn does not seem to be concerned that much with Congressman John Rose, and maybe she should be, maybe she shouldn't be. She is certainly the front runner, the leader yet to be in the clubhouse, as they say. I wonder if this is of any concern to Marsha, and I wonder if anyone would consider. I think people are going to need to know more about Butch Wilmore than that he stayed in space for a long time.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we
that's fair.
Might want to hear some policy.
I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Wait a minute, that fella went up in space? Oh, well, he's got my vote.
Don't get me wrong, Weaver. That's pretty cool. And I assure you that Butch will be on the show at some point.
All
and,
right.
And I assure you that we will talk about his time in space.
What if he said, you know what, I'd rather talk about the state of Tennessee. Let's just stick to policy.
I don't think he's going to do that. Would be awesome. So tell me what it's like being an astronaut. Matt, I'm here to talk about economic development in the rural regions. I'm here to talk about the electrification of the upper plateau. Well, you had me at plateau. I think he's probably going to lean into the astronaut angle if I had to make a guess. But yeah, that's something else, man.
It's interesting.
Butch Wilmore
today.
I mean, come on. I mean, and at some point today, we will ask the question of the listening audience, and you'll be able to call in or write in. Does this cause you to pause? I encourage you, and I've long said this, do not make your choice right now. You don't have to. Nobody's twisting your arm.
Ooh, it's early.
And it is way too early to start making choices about who your horse is for governor of this great state of Tennessee. And I have all the respect in the world for what Marsha Blackburn has accomplished for the state. And I know that some of you have concerns about her getting Washingtonized while in Washington, D.C. as a House of Representatives member and a United States Senator. I understand that. I appreciate John Rose. I like John Rose a lot. I think John Rose has been a pretty good congressman. John Rose, neither of these two. I like Monty Fritz, and we would love to have Monty back on the show. I think Monty has a lot to offer the state. He's getting his name ID raised up. I do not think that Monty Fritz has I don't know that he's got a puncher's chance in this election, but it is what it is. Maybe so. I mean, some of you are all in on Monty. Point is, you don't have to pick anybody. They want you to pick early because once you pick early, you're on that team and you kind of downplay the good that is in every other candidate. All of these candidates have good attributes. All of these candidates have done some good things to get them where they are in terms of public policy and serving the general public of the greater state of Tennessee. And I understand that if you're a hater, if you hate John Rose, you're going to say, that's not true, Murphy. Or if you hate Marsha Blackburn, that's not true, Murphy. But it is true. They've all done some level of good. Now, does the bad outweigh the good? I don't know. I'm just telling you not to pick. You don't have to pick until you walk into the polls on Election Day. Now I want you to be informed, and that's what we're here for. We're going to try to do our best to inform the general public about the policy positions, the priorities, and the characteristics that make up the leadership potential of all of these candidates running for governor, including former astronaut Butch Wilmore, who he stayed in space longer than do I have this right, that he and his astronaut cohort, whose name I cannot remember.
I cannot remember her name for the life of me.
I can't because, he's local. He's a state guy, so I remember him. But I think they stayed in space longer than any other American.
Sunny. Her name was Sunny.
Sunny.
They were up there for 9 months.
Yesterday my life was here on Earth. Sunny. 4460 says, being an astronaut, I bet Butch is concerned with the canopy. Well, we'll find out, won't we? We'll find out.
286 days.
Man, that's a long time.
Aboard the International Space Station.
I think they were supposed to be there for 9 days. And
something like that.
As Jackson just said, 9 months.
Yeah, it was supposed to last a week.
Yikes. Well, you got to err on the side of caution when that sort of thing comes out. And thank God for Elon Musk. He's the one that went back and got him and brought him back, right?
Went and got him.
Got no credit for it because, he had the audacity of supporting Donald Trump, one of the candidates for president of the United States. That's out there. Butch Wilmore running for governor. At some point, I'll ask if you would consider him for governor, if you need to know more. Once again, I encourage you, do not pick. You need to remain neutral. You need to make these people earn your vote. If they already got you, they got you. And they know that once you get into a camp, once you're in Camp Weaver, it's hard to get you off Camp Weaver, right? Once you're in Camp Jackson, God forbid you ever fall into Camp Jackson. That's a lonely place.
Camp Jackson won Ninkampoops yesterday.
Son of a biscuity.
I am not certain that that's true, Ken. Just I did not tally it up after the show, and
That
that's
means I
Jackson
won.
talking, and I'll go back and I'll do the tally. We can go back on the super text line and we'll tally it up, which is the official place to vote, by the way. Votes on YouTube do not count. I just want you YouTube folks to know I appreciate y'all voting over there, but you got to vote on the official super text line for Ninkapoops in the News because that's the only place that I'm counting them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and, to do otherwise, that's kind of like Georgia.
Oh, you mean the election?
Yeah, the election.
I thought you, for some reason, I was like, what's my Bulldogs got to do with
I
any of
wasn't
this?
talking fight
What's
Yeah, none of our esteemed YouTube chat members have DUIs.
We don't get DUIs. We're just driving at 105 miles. You see the our defensive, I think he's a linebacker.
What?
He might be defensive back.
He was driving like 120 miles.
He's driving like 120 miles an hour. I mean, how many? And thankfully that was it. I mean, he wasn't like
He wasn't
drunk off his hiney or whatever, had drugs or whatnot. But I'm like, how many meetings do you think the University of Georgia football team has had about don't speed?
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you think at this point it's just Kirby standing at the front of the meeting room yelling, "Stop, please"?
like what is wrong with you?
Here's the thing about Kirby. Kirby's got deep enough roster, he could bench him. Like
Yeah, I don't. He's supposed to be the replacement for C.J. Allen. I don't think we need to bench him. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't mind as long as it's
Maybe he runs some extra laps
yeah,
after practice.
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do some gassers up the stadium steps or something.
hold him out for that game in September down there in Athens.
Which game? Your game?
Yep.
Are we playing?
Yep.
Are we going? You want to?
Boy,
You ever
I
been to
want to.
Athens?
I've got a big stuff going on in the fall, but I do want to go to that game.
Big stuff going on in the fall.
My daughter's getting married.
In the fall?
Yeah.
On Saturday? You think, don't you?
I don't know yet.
You think. Because, see, they don't. That's the problem. This is how it starts, Ken. Ken, this is bad. This is bad. Here's how it starts. Well, I want a fall wedding because it's so pretty in the fall. Okay, that's cool. That's good. We'll do it on a Sunday, you say to yourself. We'll do it on a Sunday. Well, then none of the churches and none of the places where you go, they don't do it on Sunday because they got church on Sunday.
And that's Titans Day. That's
And
NFL Day.
How about if we go down to Athens?
Now, then, I can get you a nice little chapel in Athens.
It's like the worst destination wedding ever. The destination?
You ever been to Athens, Jackson?
No.
Jackson? If we played this year, I would take you. But we don't because you guys chickened out. That's my understanding.
We didn't.
I have it on good authority that Tennessee said we don't want no more. That's what they said. They were in the big meeting down in Destin, and what's your coach's name over there, Heupel? Heupel said, we give up, Curb. We don't want no more. Give
I
it
think y'all got
give
all
it to
you
them
wanted.
Sooners.
If our kicker wasn't a cross-eyed moron, we would have won that game.
By the way, did we bring this up on the radio yesterday? How many people told me to tell you Roll Tide? It was just, I didn't do it. And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. I don't like Alabama that much. I would never do that to you. But do you understand the number of people that hit me up over the weekend to tell you Roll Tide? Like 4, actually. I mean, to be honest.
Was one of them Cameron?
One of them was Cameron, yeah. I don't think one of them was Pamela Furr, although if she'd have thought about it, she probably would have done that. But there were a couple of other just randos that came out of the woodwork. Apparently, y'all lost in basketball. I don't watch anymore because
we
Georgia
blew a
sucks.
Double-digit lead.
Oh, that's right. We did bring it up yesterday. Okay. All right. We got a lot to get into. I am very, very curious where you guys are in terms of Iran. It is very difficult for me not to say the Iraq War. I don't know why. That's been 20 years gone now. But, yeah, we are in conflict with the nation of Iran, and we keep killing their leadership. And, you know, I kind of like the way this is playing out in my head is kind of exciting to me because at my very essence, at my core, I'm a chaos man. I dig the level of chaos that exists right before order ensues. So I like chaos in Washington, D.C. to a certain degree because I like keeping those ne'er-do-wells on their toes. And at my essence, I like the chaos of the unknown right now. And it appears that our foreign policy, as far as it goes with Iran, involves demanding that they forever give up their nuclear ambitions. They refused to do that. And because the Iranians refused to do that, we had to walk away from said negotiations. It was believed that they were rebuilding their armaments, that, in fact, their nuclear program was not completely obliterated, as Donald Trump said last summer, that they had remnants of it and they were rebuilding it. And we told them to stop all of that, and they refused to do so. And as a result, we eliminated them, like all of them. Utilizing Israeli intelligence, we went in and gave a tactical strike as the Ayatollah met with his supreme leadership, and they ain't here no more. You know, threat eliminated. They gone. Then more leadership got together, like the B team, like the JV squad got together yesterday, and they were ready to elect a new Ayatollah, and we blew them the hell out of the water, or the Israelis did.
Yeah, Israelis did.
So there you go. I mean, so who's going to step up? And here's the nice thing, because my big fear is we get into a quag on nation building, which doesn't work. We break things really, really well. We don't rebuild them that well. I think that's a fair analysis. It's an oversimplification, but I think it's fair. We break things like gangbusters. We're really good at breaking crap and killing people. We're not so good at building stuff and installing individuals that that region of the world will accept as permanent leadership. And when we do, they turn out to be despots and tyrants, and it's just bad business. But it feels like the Trump policy right now is, we break it, y'all deal with it, thank you, and that's it. And that's it. Like, we're not rebuilding any nations. We're just telling you that if you become head of Iran, one, we expect that you're going to be somewhat humanitarian to your people. Number two, you will not have nuclear weapons. You will not have weapons to threaten other individuals. Number three, you're not going to continue to spend millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars funding terrorist organizations like ISIS or Hezbollah or whatever damn caliphate's going on today, or Hamas. We're not going to allow any of that to happen anymore. And that's it. Now, go build a nation. We're not doing it. Will that work? I got no clue, y'all. I got no clue. I'm interested where you are on it. 615-737-9986. But I do like the idea of, if y'all aren't going to play ball, y'all are going to die. And that's just kind of the way that goes. And you know what? You've killed enough people that it's worldly justified that the leadership of Iran is gone. 26 after the hour. We're gone to a quick timeout. Be back in a moment. Get some of your telephone calls in here. 615-737-9986. We'll find out why Jackson's so grumpy. Oh, I can tell. You and I have that platonic radio relationship where I can tell, Jackson, we're platonic radio BFFs, and you're grumpy. And we'll find out why in a moment. When was the last time your insurance company actually shopped around for you? At King & Associates Insurance, that's exactly what they do every single day. It's Matt Murphy, and instead of sticking with one company's prices, I made the decision when I bought my new home to go with King & Associates Insurance, and they found me incredible rates on my homeowners. And then Emery went on to say, Matt, you need to let me shop for this auto insurance for you. I can bundle it up. I said, give it a go. And he did, and he saved me over $300 on auto alone. No two families are the same. Your insurance should not be either. Maybe your premiums have crept up. Maybe you've added a teenage driver. Maybe something else has changed in your situation. Whatever it might be, it is time to stop overpaying and get the same great coverage. King & Associates will compare options side by side, give you that information, and you, along with King, will make the decision for you and your family without breaking your budget. That's what it's all about. 615-321-8121, 615-321-8121, or online at kingassociates.com. That's King Associates Insurance, where smart money shops.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury, the U.S. consulate in Dubai, reportedly hit by an Iranian drone. U.S. State Department has begun securing flights for Americans to get out of the region. President Trump today saying he ordered the air attack on Iran because he thought they would attack first. The president asked if his administration supports anyone to lead that country now, including possibly Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi.
He looks like a very nice person, but it would seem to me that somebody that's there, that's currently popular, if there's such a person, but we have people like that.
Here's Patrick Reevell with another angle.
The U.S. is now essentially in a race to destroy Iran's missile capabilities before its own air defense interceptor missiles run out. Many people don't realize how limited the Pentagon's interceptor stockpile is. Some experts say the U.S. may only have enough in the region for 2 to 3 weeks of intense combat. The US's Gulf state allies have far fewer and are burning through them at a very high rate. It means Iran may believe that a longer war favours it. The US and Israel's strategy is therefore now to destroy Iran's missile launchers fast enough to make those interceptors last longer. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, London.
And a Georgia man whose teenage sons, accused of killing 2 high school students and 2 teachers, has himself been convicted of second-degree murder. A jury convicting Colin Gray of all other charges in the 2024 shooting at Appalachia High, northeast of Atlanta. Prosecutors said Gray knew his son Colt was obsessed with school shooters. ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer.
The picture of the Parkland school shooter, or pictures, sorry, just all over his wall. Like you would imagine a teenager with maybe an athlete or a supermodel. No, he had the Parkland school shooter on his wall in this almost like shrine. That to me was a red flag that I think no parent can say, well, I don't know what that's about. That's not something that I'm alarmed about. That to me was the biggest piece of evidence, the biggest red flag.
Gray had given Colt the rifle used in the shooting. And election 2026, another major name stepping into the race to become Tennessee's next governor. Astronaut Butch Wilmore listed as a Republican. Qualifying cutoff for the candidacy is March 10th at noon. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Jolton got a crash 24 westbound at Whites Creek Pike. And then in Franklin, you've got debris that's covering the right lanes and the off ramp. So basically, the right lanes and the off ramp are blocked by debris. 840 eastbound to go 65 there in Franklin. I'm Ken Weaver.
Here's what I know about the great Aaron Stokes, that in his legacy, in his professional legacy, he created a place like Eurofix that makes European auto repair feel like a welcoming place, not like European auto repair. He did that all of his life, and Eurofix continues to honor that legacy by making sure that you understand that Eurofix is not your typical greasy garage. Waiting rooms are clean and comfortable, inviting. Service areas are spotless because they care about everything from the way that their employees are treated to the way that you're treated to the way your car is treated. That's the way it ought to be. To follow that up, every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty. Eurofix performs at below-dealer pricing. You don't have to put up with those high prices. You don't have to put up with getting ghosted when you make a call and not receiving a call back. You always get callbacks at Eurofix. Plus, a rental car available at every appointment. Locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX or online at myEurofix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Where does all of this go? I do not know. I do not pretend to know. And therein lies the rub. I would love to hear from you on this Tuesday edition, March 3rd, 2026. It is, as I mentioned, episode 989. Very exciting. Very exciting as we approach episode 1,000. And I think the Wellness Institute of Nashville is sponsoring our 1,000th episode. Have you heard this news?
I have not.
I have not either, but it's my understanding that is true. And I've not heard it official, but apparently Dr. Mitchell is sponsoring our 1,000th show. I mean, he sponsors, in part, he sponsors every show. Always sponsors Ninkapoops. But he is an official 1,000th show partner.
What are we doing for that 1,000th show?
I don't know.
I say we get a big old cake and eat it.
I like the way Ken Weaver's thinking. Big old cake. Cake?
I'm down for cake.
Cookie cake? Or cake?
Cake.
Strawberry cake?
Yes.
Ken, where are you on strawberry cake?
I'll do strawberry cake.
Okay. I mean, as long as nobody's against it. I'm a big... Ken, if I told you only had one flavor of cake to eat for the rest of your life, I know it would be a sad day. Don't get me wrong. But after we got over the sadness, now you have to pick. And what do you pick?
It'd be wedding cake.
Oh,
wedding cake's the best cake.
That's a good one. It's a good.
It's heavy. It's thick.
I got it. It's got it. But it somehow, if it's done right, maintain. It's a dense cake, and it's a dense cake.
It's real dense.
But it maintains some level of moisture if it's done correctly. And the icing, there's just something different about wedding cake ice.
There is.
I like that answer. I like it very much. It's not my answer, but I love it. Jackson, one cake. Once again, sad day because so many cakes are off the table, but now you've got to pick.
Strawberry cake.
Yeah, you talk about strawberry cake with strawberry icing. Layered strawberry cake with strawberry icing.
Sure.
Okay. I'm down. Although I can't go there. I want to. It would be number 2.
I guess I'm going to guess you're number 1.
Guess it?
Actually, can I change my answer?
No, you may not.
That's not the rules, Brother
Please.
Jackson.
You have already committed. Wedding cake, strawberry cake, that's it. What do you mean? This is not like you don't take it off the table and nobody else gets it.
But I have a better one.
Okay, go.
German chocolate.
That's a good one.
That's pretty good. Red velvet.
I see. That's my answer.
Which is just chocolate.
Red velvet cake, which is, I'm sure it's a chocolate cake, but it's got the cream cheese icing on it.
Ooh, yes, sir.
Which is so good if done properly. Red velvet cake. Oh, my goodness gracious. I would go there in a heartbeat. So, yeah, we need cake for the 1,000th show, of course. But it's brought to you apparently by Dr. Mitchell. I should mention while I'm talking about people bringing you things that this program, this hour, and every hour of the program is now brought to you by U.S. Pest. Thank you to J.K., Erica Brister, and the rest of the team at U.S. Pest. You have your finger up. Does that mean it's on the? Is it
Yeah, that way.
this way?
Yep.
Right there?
Uh-huh.
Am I kind of pointing to it?
Yeah.
There they are. Look, U.S. Pest right there. Good people, good patriots. U.S. Pest. Go see them. USPest.com. I got to find out if they come to Mount Pleasant, by the way. I hope they do. I think they will for me.
I bet you they do.
I think they probably do anyway, but I guarantee that JK and his team will for me. I can make that happen because I got to make sure that I don't have those termites or those creepy crawlies or those other bugs. We saw a roach. And we're hoping that the roach is just inside the house because we had the door open so much because we were changing out the heater. Anyway,
what if it's just one of those big water bugs?
Aren't those just roaches with better personalities?
I think so.
No. Water bugs are roaches with better PR.
Yeah.
No. We're not. Hold on a second there, guys. We're not.
We're not that kind of roach.
We're
boys.
not a roach. We're water bugs.
They hired that fancy firm NES did.
Finn Partners.
Yes.
No. These aren't roaches. Do they carry disease? Oh, sure, disease. Are they nasty? Oh, sure, they're nasty. Do they look exactly like? Well, they look very similar, but these are water bugs.
Water bugs help upkeep the canopy.
As they say. Jackson, why are you grumpy today?
Got this thing in my throat. Just can't get rid of it.
Is it a tickle?
A little bit of a tickle.
You've got a lower register in your vocal range. Yeah.
It's when the seasons change like this.
Yeah.
I get a couple of days of this real deep.
Real deep.
I get more gravitas.
Say something really important. For once, Jackson, say something really important.
I got nothing. And that's the news.
Boys.
I'm Ben Weaver.
Bend over. Anyway, so 3347, shouldn't your 997th show be significant since you're on 997? Well, sure. I mean,
yeah,
I tell you what.
We'll celebrate the whole week.
Y'all want to do cake on 997, cake on 1,000? That's cool with me.
And
We can
hot
do-
chicken.
And hot chicken. Anything else you need over there, kid?
I'll think of something.
IPAs, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do some IPAs.
Okay. I'd prefer non-IPA if we're doing that. But
Well, yeah.
that's just me. All right, 44 after the hour. But yeah, we got the big 1,000th show coming up, and we're very excited about it. There's a press conference happening against ICE today. Have y'all seen that?
No.
I was sent an alert by a little I've got a little birdie inside of the Metro Council, and my little birdie says that there will be a protest happening today. I'm pulling it up right now, and I meant what I'm going to do, Jackson. I'm going to send you this screenshot, and I want you to call this fella and see if he'll come on the radio with us. I forgot to ask you to do this before the show. His name is Albert Bender. I guess he's a part of the Metro Council. I've never heard of him, but he is holding a press conference in front of the Metro Courthouse today at 5:30 in the p.m. for immediate release to all media from Albert Bender, chairperson of the Indigenous Peoples Coalition. Media subject press conference. Date March 3, 2026. That's today. Time 5:30. That's about 2 hours from now, a little less. Location Metro Courthouse, second floor, Public Square. Here's what the press release reads. There will be a press conference held outside the March 3rd meeting of the Metro Council to denounce the racist activities of Immigration and Customs Enforcement in its arrest, brutalization, detention, and disappearing of Latino residents of Nashville and Davidson County. ICE has also attacked and harassed other residents of color, including black citizens. ICE wants to drive people of color from the United States, starting with indigenous and indigenous descended people from Central and South America, commonly called Latinos. ICE is a racist, white supremacist, domestic terrorist organization composed of masked, armed white men who have a rabid hatred of all people of color. They see as their mission to imprison and drive people of color from the United States, including African Americans, Asian Americans, even indigenous Americans, who are the original inhabitants of this land and the rightful possessors of this country. The mission of ICE is to make America whiter again, or MAWA. The ICE agents are the, quote, worst of the worst, end quote, and the most, quote, racist of the racist, end quote. Once again, I'm reading from this press release from Albert Bender. The racist Trump regime's campaign of fighting crime by the persecution of Latinos is just a front, a farce, a facade for the most virulent racism, and everyone, white as well as non-white, knows it. Everyone knows it, guys. Everyone. The additional purpose of the press conference is to urge the Metropolitan Council to recognize its moral responsibility to the public welfare of the people of Nashville and Davidson County and take appropriate action against ICE at its next meeting, March 17th, 2026. Sponsored by the Indigenous Peoples Coalition. For more information, contact Albert Bender. He gives his phone number, CC Metro Council. So I'm going to...
You going to contact him, Brother Murphy?
Well, I'm going to get, Jackson to contact him. Jackson, I'm sending this to you.
Going to get him on the air. Going to get him on the horn.
Well, I mean, I have a few questions. I don't think we have to yell. I will, in fact, I would make a commitment to Mr. Bender. Jackson, you can go ahead and tell him this. Matt just wants to find out more about your press conference at 5:30 today. He's not here to debate you. I'm just curious. What does he think about the fact that Immigration and Customs Enforcement has black people in their employment? Brown people in their employment. I'd be curious to find out what he has to say about this. What does he anticipate that if he had his way, if he was king of the Metro Council for the day, what would he have Metro Council do against Immigration and Customs Enforcement legally? What can they do? And also, if he were king for the day, I'm curious what he would do to repair what he believes is the white supremacy that dominates national politics today, to include these white supremacist organizations known as Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So we'll try to get him on. Jackson, just give him a call. See what's going on. See if we can't have him on in the 4 o'clock hour before his big press conference. I'd love to talk with him. It is 10 minutes until the top of the hour. Would love to talk with you as well. I'm going to give you the latest details. So, there are no media outlets that are currently broadcasting outside of a Iranian-run state television, which is propaganda. There are no media people in Iran right now. None. They can't get over there. So anyone suggesting that we actually know what's going on, I heard Ken Weaver ask a good question earlier today on the Chad Benson show, and that is, what's going on over there in daily life, right? Like, it's a big country, 92 million people. That's a lot of folks. So one would assume, dangerous to do, but one would assume that everything hasn't come to a screeching halt. Are grocery stores still open? Are gas stations still open? Do people even drive cars over there? These questions need to be answered. Difficult to do because there are no outlets, media-run outlets, that are offering any semblance of real news coming from that country because they can't get over there. They can get to certain outposts away from Iran, but they can't get into Iran proper because obviously Iran clamped down on the freedom of movement. They don't believe in human rights. They don't believe in human freedoms. Part of the reason, a secondary reason, but a reason nonetheless, that we went in the first place. The primary reason was I love this phrase, and I'll use it in honor of Brian Wilson, and every time I'll note that it was BW that I first heard. We went over in part to disabuse them of the notion that they were ever going to obtain a nuclear weapon, and they would not come to the table and even lie to us about it. Right? They were like, no, we are going to further ours is a peaceful energy seeking premise and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, you can't have any of that. You got to stop making missiles. You got to stop advancing your nuclear capabilities. You got to stop trying to rebuild all of that. You've got to get with the program here, and you got to say no. You've got to agree to that and let us check. Otherwise, we're not talking anymore. And of course, they refused to do so, and now they dead. Leadership in Iran is dead. And by the way, I'm not going to sit here and apologize for being happy that people willing to slaughter innocent people are dead. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, and maybe this makes me a bad person, bad Christian, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I lose a second of sleep over the fact that the Ayatollah is dead and his minions are dead. Not a second. Not a second. This was a horrible human being that was responsible not just for the deaths of thousands, tens of thousands of his own people, but for the deaths of thousands of Americans. So no, I'm not losing any sleep over that. As a matter of fact, the more the merrier when it comes to that brigade. We'll eventually get to people that understand how they need to work with the rest of the world. Eventually, you'll get to people that aren't a threat to the rest of the world. If you continue to watch as the worst of the worst rises to the top and you scrape off that level, that's isn't that how they used to do like buttermilk or cream? You got to scrape off that level of scum off the top to get to the good stuff. Yeah, that's what we're doing. 53 after the hour. Super. Hey, did you get an answer? Don't tell me. Don't tell me yet. Did you get an answer?
Voicemail.
Oh. Well, tell me what the voicemail said in a moment. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you guys for a moment about Tennessee Men's Clinic. I understand it's somewhat of a personal conversation, and I understand that, you know, when guys notice a few things, they want to pretend like it's not happening to them. But at some point over the course of your life, you're probably going to see a little slip in your energy, and maybe that slip in energy will manifest itself in the bedroom. If this happens, I encourage you to immediately, do not wait, call the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Schedule an appointment today at their Clarksville location, Middle Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee, and Cool Springs. They have 3 locations in this part of the world to help you find out what's going on with you. Don't trust some online website. Don't just Google something and expect you're just going to happen to find the right answer for you. Let a qualified urologist talk with you, go over the facts with you, get a little blood work. Is it testosterone levels? If it is, that's a quick and easy fix. They've been doing this for a long time. Since 2014, they've been around Middle Tennessee, and they've been solving problems just like this. Gentlemen, do not wait. The biggest complaint from customers of Tennessee Men's Clinic is that they did not do this soon enough and get back in the game. It's time to get up to the plate. Let's go to bat at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or call 615-208-9090.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast. Another look at traffic in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. New developments today. The New York Post just reported that a new Ayatollah has been elected in Iran. It's the oldest son of the one who was just killed. And reports say the U.S. consulate in Dubai was hit by an Iranian drone today. And the U.S. State Department organizing flights to get Americans out of the region. Here's Secretary Marco Rubio.
9,000 Americans have been able to leave the region since the start of this war. We have about 1,500 Americans that are requesting assistance with departure.
President Trump today saying he ordered the attack on Iran because he thought they would attack first and that Israel did not force his hand.
They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left. And so they're gonna be in for a lot of hurt.
Some military experts saying Washington now in a race to destroy Iran's missile capabilities before its own air defense interceptor missiles run out. Now public video of this week's depositions from Bill and Hillary Clinton in connection with the House investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The former Secretary of State, ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky on testimony from the former Secretary of State.
Hillary Clinton repeatedly told lawmakers she never interacted with Epstein or knew about his crimes.
You have compelled me to testify, fully aware that I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up.
And then Clinton learned Congresswoman Lauren Boebert leaked a photo of the closed-door deposition.
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Right now in Georgia, Colin Gray, the father of the accused Appalachia High School shooter, has been found guilty on all major charges, including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say he gave his teenage son the rifle used in the 2024 attack, despite clear warning signs about the boy's mental state. 4 people were killed in that shooting, including 2 students and 2 teachers. Gray now awaits sentencing. Election 2026 in Tennessee, a new contender in the race for governor. State election officials say the latest candidate added to the list in recent weeks is astronaut Butch Wilmore, listed as a Republican. Final day to qualify is coming up quickly, March 10th at noon. And control of Congress is on the line as the first states hold their primary elections of the midterms. Arkansas, Texas, and North Carolina holding elections today. ABC political director Avery Harper has more.
President Trump is framing these elections as a fight to keep Republican majorities, saying that Democratic control could mean obstruction and a halt to his priorities. What voters do now could determine whether he faces a friendly Congress or an adversarial one in the second half of his presidency. Avery Harper, ABC News, New York.
In North Carolina, the Senate race, actually one of the Democrats' best chances to flip a seat. And a new warning about the latest dangerous challenge going viral on social media. This time, it's the so-called fire-breathing challenge. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Authorities in western Pennsylvania say a teenager is lucky to be alive after trying to breathe fire with isopropyl alcohol. The teen is now in the hospital, intubated with serious burns. Parents are being urged to pay close attention to what their children have access to when it comes to household products.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Usual slowdowns in the usual places, but we've got some other stuff in the way. Right now in Jolton, a crash, 24 westbound at Whites Creek Pike. In Berry Hill, a crash. The off-ramp is partially blocked, 65 northbound to I-440. And in Franklin, we have debris blocking the right lanes and the off-ramp of 840 eastbound to 65. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. I don't know where the last hour went. It flew by. I absolutely love it. When we have shows, I mean, I love our guests. Don't make no mistake about it. I schedule them. So obviously, I'm going to enjoy having conversations with our guests, but I particularly love days where we don't have any. And we have an opportunity for you and I to speak intimately together on the telephone lines. I love speaking to folks on the telephones. I don't know that I would do this radio show if I didn't have the ability to take telephone callers, or at very least to communicate with you on the super text line. Now, I know many of you gravitate to the super text line because you don't have time to wait, or you're of the shy type. That's all well and good, too. 615-737-9986. But if you want to get directly to the man, that's me. 615-737-9986. Same telephone number, and you will get on air, no waiting. Jackson Williams will screen those calls. Jackson said he loves days where we have no guests because he gets to talk more to you on the telephones, too. And that's part of the favorite thing that he does on a day-to-day basis. Speaking of speaking to folks on the telephone, you say you left a message to Mr. Bender. Is that correct? Albert Bender, who I guess I could look this up during the break there. I should have done so. I guess he's on the Metro Council. But what did his message sound like? He's with the Indigenous Peoples Coalition. I know that. What did the message say? You say it was a voicemail?
Yeah, it just said it was his office of the Indigenous People Coalition. And to leave a clear and concise message.
And what did you say?
I left a clear and concise message.
And what was that message, Jackson?
Call me.
Call me? Okay, well, Jackson's screening telephone calls.
That's the way to go, Brother Jackson.
There you go. Hey, Jackson here. Call me. Thanks. See ya. Okay. Very good. There's Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. He just delivered some delicious headlines. Thank you, Ken. Ken,
you're welcome there, Brother Murphy.
We do our Ninkapoops on a day-to-day basis,
yes,
and
sir.
you're a big champion this week.
Yeah.
You've got the Ninkapoop trophy.
I got the trophy.
You've got the trophy and the crown.
And the crown.
But you also do something earlier in the day, and I caught this on social media. I did not catch it live.
Yeah.
It's a Hot Take Tuesday.
Hot Take Tuesday.
On the Chad Benson Show.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us what your hot take was again?
Turning down the stereo while backing up is distracted driving.
Mm-hmm.
All cars should just shut the audio off in reverse. And I found out that some do.
It's my understanding that some do. But my favorite part, if you go watch Kid on the Facebook, because that's where I saw it, right at the end, you look at the camera and you say something about backup. Don't trust those backup cameras.
Yeah, I don't trust the backup cameras. And where's that one coming from up top?
The one up top always freaks me out.
Yeah. Who is that?
I've had it explained to me, and I still don't understand it. I mean, They claim that they do it's some sort of mirror, something or another, like that it's the cameras on the car that's doing it, Ken.
Oh yeah,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. I think GPS is constantly following you around.
I know they are, and they're watching us through our TVs.
Probably so, yeah.
That's why I stopped dancing around the living room.
Well, that's no fun.
Well, unless I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
What is it about the noise of the radio that makes it impossible for us to back up our cars?
I think I think for one thing, I don't trust those cameras. I don't know why. I just cannot. I try to not put my arm on the seat and then look behind me. I can't do it, Brother Murphy. Even though I've got the camera, I can see, I've got to turn around and look.
I think of my grandpa. I use the camera, especially that big old truck that I've got. But I think of my grandpa every time I use the camera, Ken. Just about every time I use the camera.
Yeah.
Because my grandpa's like, you don't need to own a truck if you can't back up with the mirrors.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, you need to learn how. And he would get on you for turning around.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He would say, you don't need to turn around. Use those mirrors.
Use the mirrors.
Mm-hmm. You ought to be able to use those mirrors.
Yeah. I use my mirrors.
I do too, but I use that
for
backup
some
camera
reason,
too.
I've noticed that, I don't know. I don't know. The older I got, I would turn the music down the back.
I do that too. I do the same thing.
Somebody said they even rolled their window down.
Well, you got to be able to look out. What if there's squirrels and such running under you?
Well, and
you never know.
I was talking about something today, too. I've started parking away from everybody at the grocery store.
Yes.
Because, it's stressful. You never know when, and in our Rogue, this Nissan Rogue we have, just like a leaf blowing by behind us sets off the bells and whistles. And I'm afraid I'm going to run over a little old lady.
I don't, I have that big old GMC, and it's just, I park away from everyone.
What are y'all talking about, old man stuff?
Yes, we are. I like to suggest that it's because I want to get my exercise, Ken.
Yeah.
But it's really not that. It's really, but my grandpa would kick my butt if he knew that I used that backup camera. And he laughed at me for having a vehicle with a backup beeper on it.
He doesn't even like the beeper, did he?
Well, Pa was old school. Pa didn't. He was like, pickup truck with a back seat. What? It's no good.
No, sir.
No good. So I got some breaking news that was just sent to me by our man, John Rich.
Okay.
He had a meeting this morning with Don Mole, the CEO of TVA.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this news is, but I'm going to share it with you coming up in about 30 minutes or so. I'll ask John if he wants to share it live with us.
Yeah.
But we will. He just posted it on his X machine, and he sent it to me moments ago.
I got to look at that.
We're going to share this news because it's big news. He says, just to preview, he's got about a 3.5-minute post on it. But just to preview it, he says, just had a meeting with Don Mole, the CEO of TVA. A good start. I appreciate the action he took today. Watch and share. So we're going to share that. I will watch it when I'm able, and maybe we can talk to John about the results of that meeting. He's doing some good work over there trying to keep TVA in check. Sadly, when you have an organization that has that level of power, that power becomes an ultimate aphrodisiac, and they try to abuse the civil liberties and rights of the citizens of this state. And John's been really good at keeping them in check, and we want to congratulate him for that, and we'll offer our thoughts on it when I watch the piece. In the meantime, your call, 615-737-9986. Talking Middle East. So far, we believe, and look, anytime that we engage on this level, there is a certain fog of war. That fog of war is exacerbated by the fact that we don't have media on the ground in Iran to corroborate some of the information that's coming out of that country. But we do know that per American reports and per Israeli reports, we have seen about 1,000 Iranians killed in this conflict so far, not including their upper leadership. We have 6 Americans that have been killed as a result of this conflict thus far. We have flown over 2,000 missions of various shapes and sizes and varieties. That includes manned missions, drone missions, missiles launched, etc. We have had 2 separate strikes on leadership in Iran. The first one took out the Ayatollah and his assembled leaders where he was meeting with them above ground, moron. Secondly, there was another meeting above ground, morons, in which the Israelis recognized that there was assembled leadership. They were trying to select a new Ayatollah, and they were taken out as well. Right now, the Trump administration is briefing Congress on the Iranian conflict, as they are legally obligated to do, and we'll bring you updates from that meeting as well. Donald Trump says that military strikes in Iran have eliminated much of the regime's anticipated leadership secession bench, raising questions about who's going to emerge and be the head of that Iranian republic, or whatever else they're going to call it. Trump told reporters earlier today, I got this clip somewhere in the batch, most of the people we had in mind are dead. He was asked before he met with the German chancellor, he was asked, who do you have in mind to be the next leader? He said, well, most of the people that we had in mind are dead. They're dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is, dead. We now have another group. They may also be dead based on reports. So I guess you have a third wave coming in. Pretty soon, we're not going to know anybody. But he doesn't seem concerned about it. And this is the fascinating thing. Like everybody, and myself included, everyone's worried so much about quote unquote nation building, except for the man himself, Donald Trump. He doesn't seem to be worried at all about it. And I frankly am beginning to believe that the action plan here is to kill those that are posing threats to the rest of the world, announce to anyone ascending to a leadership position that you're going to do a couple of things. You're going to hold democratically held elections when you are at all able, when you are humanly able in a nation of 90 million people. Secondarily, you're not going to pose a threat to the rest of that region and, by extension, the rest of the globe. You're going to play nice with others. 3, you're going to abide by some basic concepts of human freedom, human dignity, and human rights. You're not going to I'm fascinated. Where are all of my liberal friends who are supporting the subjugation of women? Where are all of my liberal friends that support the idea that women are allowed to be raped and the men that rape them get away with it? Where are all of my liberal friends that support this Iranian regime and demand that the United States of America had no moral authority to initiate regime change? Now, I understand that we can argue about this. We can argue about whether it's a smart thing to do, but there's no question that it was the morally correct thing to do. Now, I do not want to be the world's police. I do not want to be a nation builder. It does not work. It does not work. It does not work. But you'll take you will hear nothing out of me that would suggest that the world's not a better place with these scumbags not in it. I'm happy to debate whether that's our authority. I'm happy to debate whether it's a good idea long term. Those things are on the table. And as I said yesterday, does that concern me? Sure it does. It should concern all of us. I don't want boots on the ground, etc. But them being dead, the leadership of that nation being dead, doesn't concern me one little bit. Brandon is first up this hour on the Matt Murphy Show. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for calling.
Well, I'm an Army vet. Did 24 years, did 3 tours in Iraq. The Middle East has always been a hotbed, always will be. And I'm 55 years old. And the way I look at it, Iran should have been dealt with back in the late 70s, early 80s with the hostages. That's the way I look at it. As far as we're in it, and I hate to say it, but I can see ground troops going in, and it's gonna be ugly. I'm glad I'm retired, but that's the way I look at it.
Well, Brandon, first and foremost, obviously, we thank you for your service. I appreciate your 24 years. That's excellent. Number 2, and I'm just curious. I'm not challenging you on this front. I'm just curious your thoughts on it. Why do you necessarily see the necessity for American boots going in? Because of the civil unrest that's obviously going to come out of power vacuum over there?
Well, I don't want boots on the ground. I don't.
I don't either.
But it's going to lead up to that. That's my gut feeling. I don't want to see it.
Just natural mission creep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can do so much with bombs and all this. But, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd make Iraq just an empty park. I mean, Iran just an empty parking lot. But, you got to be, can't do that. But I don't see it getting any better. And I don't want to say Israel dragged us into this, but we live in a country to where we don't get bombed every day. I mean, I'd rather for this to be going on over there than to be going on here, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you would agree with that.
I do. No, I do. I mean, I had questions. We do and Brandon, thank you so much for your telephone call. We do. Some of us over here do a podcast. Chris and Dan and I do a podcast. We do it. We typically record it during Chad's show, or Chad might be a part of it too. But Mostly Peaceful is the podcast, and if you haven't caught it, you can find it on all of our social media platforms at Matt Murphy Show on Facebook, Instagram, etc. And we talked about this. It could not have been more wrong in a lot of ways about it when we talked about it the last time we sat down, which was last week, and it launched Saturday around the same time that some of these military strikes were launching. And, I asked a lot of questions about what our goals and what our purposes actually were, and some of those questions have now been answered. And I'm not asking them rhetorically. I'm asking them really. Like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to eliminate the threat of nuclear weapons now, tomorrow, and forever? Are we trying to install some sort of puppet regime? And what I have heard, there's been a little bit of an inconsistency in messaging, and I think it's basically the manner in which some of these questions have been framed to Hegseth, to Rubio, and to Donald Trump. But one thing has been crystal clear and consistent, that they went to Iran and they told Iran, you've got to start playing ball in this region, otherwise you're going to get taken out. And by play ball, we mean you need to come clean as to where you are on missiles. You need to come clean as to where you are on nukes. And if you don't, or if you don't do what we tell you to do, then we have a problem. And they wouldn't, and we did. Now, is Donald Trump guilty of rhetorical flourish? I think we know that by now. So if you want to fault him for the rhetorical flourish of saying that their nuclear program was completely obliterated last summer, that is a fair criticism. Because whatever obliteration, I always put an H in it, obliterated. Whatever obliteration, I'll get it one of these days, that we accomplished, obviously it wasn't enough. So that's fair. I'm not getting caught up in it. Trump haters will get caught up in it because that's what they do. Haters are going to hate, and they can't help themselves. I don't get caught up in that. Trump said what he said. Obviously, intelligence agencies, including Israel, that's not a dirty thing, including Israel, said, no, they still have a program. They still have a plan of action. So if he needs to answer for his comments last summer, that's fine. That's on the table. But bottom line is this: they didn't play ball now, and we felt it in our best interest to make sure that happened. Now, I'm not the president of the United States, nor are you. We might have made different decisions regarding this, but we elected a guy based on his ability to make these decisions with discernment, keeping in mind our America First policies, keeping in mind that we do not want to start more forever wars. And it remains to be seen whether those things have been accomplished or whether they will be accomplished. I don't know. I'm concerned? Sure. Am I hopeful? 100%. 24 after the hour on Super Talk. You know what I did last night? I went and I got to know my new heater, my new 5-ton from Efficient Heating and Cooling that they installed yesterday morning. I got home last evening, poured myself a cold one, and went down to the furnace area and said hello to my new baby. I called her sexy. I don't know if that's going to be her permanent name, but I went into the furnace area and I said, "Hey, sexy, what are you doing?" Because she is sexy and she works. And friends, I'm excited. Sadly, not only was my heater body cracked and it necessitated a replacement, and I've talked about the attempts that Efficient Heating and Cooling made to get me right before they told me the bad news. And when they told me, they were like, listen, it is what it is. We've exhausted everything, but we can only advise you that you do one of two things. You either replace the furnace heater body, which is a part replacement, or let's go with a brand new unit. This unit that I had in my new home was 10 years old, and I knew that for the long term, it was important that I got that warranty, which I've got now 10 years, that I got the great people of Efficient to install it, which I did. And last night I was very, very pleased because you know what? You turn that heat on and it's instantaneous, it's quiet, and it blows the heat. You turn the cool on, same deal. And friends, those warranties are in place, and I am comfortable and I can rest better tonight. Efficient Heating and Cooling, they're great at what they do, friends. Now's the time to get that AC maintenance so you don't have problems during the summer. Jeff Eddie's got that $125 deal rolling. 615-784-4424, 615-784-4424, or online at efficienthvac.com or .net, pardon me, efficienthvac.net.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury update. The New York Post reporting a new Ayatollah has been elected in Iran. It is the oldest son of the one who was just killed. And the U.S. consulate in Dubai has been hit by an Iranian drone. And the U.S. State Department has begun securing flights for Americans to get out of the region. Secretary Marco Rubio says about 1,500 Americans are requesting help getting out.
We have identified and continue to identify charter flights, military flight options, and expanded commercial flight options, meaning working with the airlines to send bigger airplanes with more seats.
President Trump today saying he ordered the attack on Iran as a preemptive move.
We were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that.
U.S. military policy expert says the U.S. may only have enough interceptors for a few weeks unless it can reduce Iran's ability to attack. Back here in this country, a Georgia man whose teenage son is accused of killing 2 high school students and 2 teachers has himself been convicted of second-degree murder. A jury convicting Colin Gray, of all other charges, in the 2024 shooting at Appalachia High in northeast of Atlanta. ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer.
This is the first time we're seeing a parent convicted of a form of murder for the actions of another. And I don't think, unfortunately, it will be the last. There may be other fact patterns, other cases that we see similar to this. But hopefully this is a huge wake-up call for many parents that if you miss red flags and you provide the weapon, you could be found culpable for murder in this country.
Prosecutors said Gray knew his son, Colt, was obsessed with school shooters, giving him the rifle he used in the September 2024 shooting. And election 2026, a notable Tennessean filing paperwork to run for governor. Astronaut Butch Wilmore's name's on the Secretary of State's office list of hopefuls vying to succeed Bill Lee. The deadline to get on that ballot is March 10th at midday. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, in addition to the usual places, we still have debris blocking every lane but the left one, 840 eastbound, off-ramp to 65. In Belle Meade, we got a crash now, Harding Pike, just south of Harding Place. And in Berry Hill, a crash, the off-ramp partially blocked there, and that's the 64 northbound off-ramp to I-440. Jolton got a wreck, 24 westbound at Whites Creek Pike, and now in Hermitage, a crash, 40 eastbound at Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
As the weather begins to warm up, I begin to tell you it is bug season. The bugs are at it again, right? They do this every year. They really don't stop. They make little bugs, and those little bugs want what's yours. They want your home. They want your food. They want the things that you enjoy in your life, and you are obligated to prevent it. And you prevent it through U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest. Simply put, they are the best at preventing bug infestation. They are the best when it comes to termites. They have preventative and corrective services available with a 100% money-back guarantee. Whether it's spiders or ants, ladybugs. Oh, ladybugs. Have y'all noticed the ladybugs this year? I don't know what it is about Mount Pleasant. Maybe it's all the phosphate, but we got ladybugs in Mount Pleasant, boy. And we're going to eliminate those things because they're everywhere. And those are ladybug, fly away home. That's what the old saying goes. Crawl Space Services is also available with J.K. and Erica Brister providing those services at U.S. Pest. Simply put, you cannot eliminate these pests on your own. You just can't. You need a company like U.S. Pest to come in and help you out. Give them a call and tell them that Matt Murphy sent you to U.S. Pest. 590-1260, 590-1260. That's, of course, in 615. You can go online at uspest.com. I love to say it. U.S. Pest, they love these United States of America, and they hate bugs. Tell them I sent you to U.S. Pest. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Shane Ring understands health insurance. Shane Ring understands that there are about 75 different plans that he can turn to for your insurance needs. Every one of them is different. Every one of them has different priorities and different pluses and minuses, but every single one of them needs to be examined to make sure that you've got the best health coverage for you and for your family, because your situation is obviously different as well. They've got all manner of plans to assist you in the state of Tennessee. And Shane wants to talk with you. It starts with that conversation, concierge, if you will. He will sit down with you, work through exactly what you have now, what you're looking for. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, it's time to get with Cover Nash. Don't believe these folks that tell you can't do something when it's not, quote unquote, open enrollment. It's just not true. This is health coverage managed by you and not by the government. Get rid of the red tape with Cover Nash. Go to covernash.com or call 615-465-0023. That's 465-0023 for our friends at Cover Nash. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, sad to say that you give these organizations, these companies, a certain amount of power, and unfortunately, they tend to abuse it. I'm talking about TVA. The devil in the TVA, as our next guest would attest to. So we watched this play out in Cheatham County. We had our next guest on. He spearheaded an effort to stop the abuse of power in Cheatham County some months ago, and sadly, it's going on again, this time in Sumner County. And John Rich is well positioned to talk about an advancement, a positive advancement in what the outcome of that situation might be. And John was gracious enough with his time to join us on the program today. And it's always a pleasure to talk with John Rich. What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
Hey, Matt. I'm good, man. It's good to finally talk about, as you said, some positive news for once about TVA.
Well, and you know what? You had to use, I mean, you kind of had to use the bludgeon in Cheatham County. You didn't want to. I know you never want to, but sad as it is that sometimes some of these, I'm not talking about any individual, but this entity thinks that it's more powerful than anybody, but you understand better than anyone that it takes a voice like yours to raise the alarm, and the people will rise up and protect our liberties and our rights. And that's what happened in Cheatham County. You took an approach, and you and I talked a little bit in back channels, and you said, I want to see, I want to see if I can't, help these folks out up there in Sumner County in a way that I don't want to embarrass anybody. You just don't want to, you just want to accomplish the goal. And I appreciate that about you, John. So just walk us through what you've managed to get to with Don Mole.
Yeah, so today the CEO of TVA came to meet me at my house. We had about a 90-minute meeting, just me and him. So no lawyers, no teams, just two guys talking.
Yeah.
And, I explained to him, I was talking about the Gregory farm there in Sumner County, and I said, Don, you'd think you'd have learned after Cheatham County that you can't treat people like that. And he goes, well, I mean, and, he was given some reasonings as to why the Gregory farm and whatever. And I said, yep, nobody wants to hear that. I said, I don't want to hear it. The people don't believe you. Corporate speak, political speak doesn't work. I said, you have got to change the way, TVA has to change the way they are treating American citizens. You're 93 years old as the TVA, set up in 1933. I said, it is time to turn the boat around. I said, Don, this is your chance to do things and change the protocols of the way TVA operates and start actually respecting American landowners. And if you will do that, guess what, man? Your infrastructure projects will be built faster and more efficient. You won't wind up in court. You won't have guys like me making up songs about you and the devil. Like that. Right. You can avoid all this. Just treat American landowners the way they should be treated. And so he said, okay, like what? And so I went down through a list of things that need to be done. And at the end of the conversation, he said, what do I have to do to make you believe I'm serious about making major changes? I said, I can tell you two things you can do. One, give Cheatham County the land back that you guys own, that 200 plus acres, put it up for auction and give it back to them. And the second thing, go meet with the Gregories and withdraw from that deal, or find something that they are happy with. And if they're not happy, then it doesn't happen. Those two things would be a big step in the right direction. He said, you know what? The Cheatham County deal, we'll put it up for auction. We'll return it back to the people, let the citizens own it. I said, how long does that take? He said, I'll call the board right now. I said, okay, call him. And so he picked up his iPhone, he called the board and told him what he wanted to do. The board said, we think that's the right thing to do. And he told me Cheatham County's going to get their land back. I'm going to go meet with the Gregories. We're going to put these two things to bed and then continue to work from there. I know that's a long answer, Matt, but that's the encapsulation of the 90-minute.
That's excellent. That's progress.
Huge progress.
Well, and John, did you get the feeling that he got it? That the perception is, like, we talked to Sumner County commissioners, we talked to folks about this situation with the Gregory family, and what's so fascinating, people that have never had contact with the TVA, it's the way that they go about their business. It's not like they walk, hat in hand, like you or I would do, and say, "Hey, y'all, we've got a situation. We want to sit down and talk with you about it. We've got some power lines coming here. We might need to talk about, certain areas on your property." They don't do any of that. They just try to bulldoze these 7-generation farmers off of their land and act as if it's their right to do so. And it's that attitude that just frustrates the heck out of people. And I hope that Don Mole understands that.
He understands it now. I can promise you that. And I also told him this. I'm like, listen, man, your job is to help execute President Trump's energy dominance plan. That is your job. He appoints the members of the TVA board, and you are the CEO. I said, is it better or worse for you if you wind up in court and wind up on Twitter wars with me and wind up in the public eye looking like a tyrannical, socialist entity, or is it better to just pick the right spots, don't start the fight in the first place, and do right by the landowner? He said, option B. I said, exactly right, Don. So this is how we're going to go forward, or we're going to monkey wrench you every single time. Me as a citizen advocate with the cabinet members in DC and the people I'm working with now in the administration, we will monkey wrench you every single time if you are hurting the American landowner. So just stop doing it. It was a really candid conversation, Matt. It wasn't contentious, but it was definitely clear. And he got the message. And honestly, I think if say he's not the CEO of TVA, he's just another guy, you could see that he goes, yeah, you know what? That sucks. I mean, I wouldn't want to be treated like that. That's kind of how he looked.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, there's a real guy down in there. This is a real guy.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to get to the point where you'll actually make the move. And then that's why he made the move right there at the house. Gave Cheatham County their land back. Boom. Just like that.
I love it. It is an offering on the part of TVA to suggest that maybe you are helping open their eyes to the reality of what they're doing to people in Tennessee, and that information has become democratized to the point that when John Rich has the number of followers he's got on social media platforms, he can get the word out really, really quickly. And awareness brings attention to these matters, and when we're aware that the Gregory family is being run over, we're not going to put up with it, right? I mean, that's the whole point, and hopefully they've received that message in good faith, because I know that you bring it in good faith. You like you say, you don't want to write songs about the devil, although it's a pretty darn good song, I will say.
No, I really don't want to do that, and they don't want to do that. TVA doesn't want to do that either. I mean, that doesn't serve anybody. They need to put in power infrastructure. We need them to do it, and they need to do it, and Trump wants them to do it. And so go do that. But you got to stop treating people like this.
Where do you think where did you feel like you left it with the Gregory family? What is his next step there?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I've already reached out to Commissioner Mansfield and connected him with Don Mole. And we are going to get myself, the commissioner, TVA, and the Gregory family all in a room together. I said, Don, you need to bring them coffee and pecan pie and sit down at the table and say, I'm sorry, should be the first thing you say. And then pull out the map and show them every other possible way this could happen, and then see what they say. And I said, what happens, Don, if nothing you say makes them happy? If there's nothing you can come up with that they're okay to allow happen? He goes, then we have to find another route. I said, so you will back up if they say nothing will make us happy? He goes, yes, I will. I said, okay, then let's set the
Let's
meeting.
go.
So yeah, so I put that email together 20 minutes ago, and I look forward to meeting the Gregorys in person. I haven't met them yet.
Well, I love great news, and I was so excited when you sent out the text and sent out the social media post earlier that I needed to have you on to hear this good news. I mean, this is positive outcome that we need. And look, I mean, nobody's against electricity. I mean, you know, it's a thing that you have to remind people. No, we're not against electricity, and we're not necessarily against understanding when, you know, sometimes things happen and people don't like it, but we should take the path of least resistance, number one. And number two, you should come at this at protecting the citizens' rights and liberties first and foremost before you have to take the next step and, you know, take property or take easement or whatever. And I just appreciate you drawing the spotlight on this, man. This is great news.
Well, you're exactly right. You've, you know, WTN has followed these stories since Cheatham County. It's helped a great deal. And again, I will say, I actually do have hope that we're going to be able in the next few months to have major protocol changes in the way TVA addresses the American landowner. So thanks for having me on.
Hey, you didn't get offered a board seat again, did you?
No, but I reminded him that I was offered a board seat and said no. I reminded him of that. And I said, can you imagine, Don, a guy like me saying no to some powerful, lofty position like that? I said, why would I say no to that? He looked at me and goes, what did you say no to that? I said, because I want to protect landowners. I want to be able to fight you, Don. I want to be able to sit here and fight you. And if I'm on your board, I can't fight you.
Man.
And he kind of grinned and went, wow, what an answer. I said, well, and that's why we're here. But listen, he showed integrity by coming to my house and sitting down like that.
Well, good for him. I mean, we're going to criticize when it is warranted, and we're going to give credit when it is due. And good for him for sitting down with you. And sounds like a great outcome and maybe a nice fresh start, especially in Sumner County. I appreciate you giving us the rundown, John.
You bet, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Take care. There's John Rich joining us. I forgot, Jeremy Mansfield is the Sumner County Commissioner, and I want to give Jeremy a lot of credit on this story because Jeremy, it came to him. Jeremy highlighted it. He talked with John about it. He came on and talked with us about it on the radio show. And the Gregory family understands that, you know, electricity is needed to some of these communities. And no one is immune from the idea that sometimes people have to have some of their property taken to cut an electrical line. The bottom line, if you don't know the story on this, is that the Gregory family was never approached. They are a seventh-generation farming family in Sumner County. And basically the first awareness that they had of any of this was TVA coming on their property and going, hey, we're TVA and we're staking this out because this is no longer your property. We're putting an electrical line here. And they're like, what the hell are you talking? They didn't say it this way, but I will. What the hell are you talking about? No meetings, no suggestion that they had any say in the matter, just this is the way we're doing it. Well, that's not the way that it ought to work. And so they went to their Sumner County Commissioner, Jeremy Mansfield, and he drew awareness to this story, and he deserves a tremendous amount of credit for doing so. And thanks to John for giving us an update on the Don Mole situation, and hopefully they're being honest when it comes to work. And once again, I understand that there's a subdivision that's been approved that needs electricity, but there was a better way to do it that did not interfere with a family farm. That's the point. There was a better way to do this stuff in Cheatham County. The way that they were trying to do it, you know, you guys aren't kings. You don't, I mean, but that's the way they act, sadly, but not in 2026. You could have gotten away with that in 1976, maybe, but not in 2026. It is 10 minutes until the top of the hour. Jim and Chris will get to you on the subject of Iran in just a moment. We'll circle back to that conversation right after this on Super Talk.
Operation Epic Fury update. We've had got several developing situations, new developments there in the war with Iran. And then the Tennessee Valley Authority and landowners update here in Tennessee. Hear from country music star John Rich, who says Cheatham County, land that TVA owns, is going back to the private sector. We'll tell you about it at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 73.99. Don't tell people it's not their property anymore. It would still be their property, just subject to an easement. TVA can take your property through eminent domain, and it is not your property anymore. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not your property. You're not allowed on it. You're not allowed to use it. It's not your property. They pay you for it. They pay you what they determine it's worth. So I don't know how else you want me to say it, $73.99. I'm not trying to say it inartfully. I'm not trying to get in a fight about it. It's just if TVA comes on your property and says that this is ours now and you're not allowed here because we've got guide wires and we've got towers and these are very important things that you're not allowed to be close to, then that's not your property anymore. So I don't know what to tell you. 615-737-9986. Jim's been holding on to talk about Iran. Hello, Jim. Hey, Jim. Jim? GYM? Jimmy? Jimbo? All right, I'll try Chris then. Hey, Chris.
Hey, hi, Matt. Thanks for taking the call.
Of course.
By the way, I'm kind of looking at Iran. It's kind of like there's 3 layers to it, but it seems to be focusing only on 2 layers. The first layer is the nuclear. We took out Fordo back in June, which took away their ability to enrich uranium, but they still have the enriched uranium that they made. And what I understood from listening to Congressman Walsh, who's now UN ambassador, he said that enriched uranium was what they were trying to get during the negotiation, and Iran basically just told them not going to get it. The second layer, state sponsor of terrorism, we all know what they've been doing with Hezbollah, giving them all the arms they need. But the third layer is of oil. We took the dictator out of Venezuela, a very huge state full of oil. Now we take out the leader of Iran, another large state of oil. We took out all of their navy. So now all the oil in the Gulf can now flow, and all that oil was going to China. I think that's just a third layer in another way of Trump playing 4D chess. China's kind of the third thing they're not really talking about, but they didn't want to play game all year with trade negotiations. Now we've got their oil. I think now they kind of have to come to the table. What do you think?
Yeah, they have to do something. But I don't know who they is anymore, honestly, Chris. I don't disagree with your analysis. I think it's pretty. I like it. Yes, they needed to stop the further uranium enrichment. Yes, we needed to eliminate the uranium already enriched. Yes, we needed to secure the commerce in that region, and they were an impediment to securing said commerce through their Navy. All of those things are true. In terms of who comes to the table next, I don't know who that would be. I know this. It's after 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and it's time for the news. And we're going to do that right now.
Five o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury update.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. All 6 American troops killed in the opening hours of the U.S. war against Iran at Shuaibah port in Kuwait. ABC News has learned the commercial harbor doubles as a logistics hub for the U.S. military there. According to 2 defense officials, an Iranian drone killed the troops in a command and control center. Some military experts say a prolonged conflict could also deplete U.S. military resources.
The U.S. is now essentially in a race to destroy Iran's missile capabilities before its own air defense interceptor missiles run out. Many people don't realize how limited the Pentagon's interceptor stockpile is. Some experts suggest the U.S. likely only has enough in the region for 2 to 3 weeks of intense combat. It means the U.S. and Israel's strategy now is to destroy Iran's missile launchers fast enough to make their interceptors last longer. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, London.
The State Department also working on evacuation plans for Americans. This is ABC News.
Also, the New York Post reporting a new Ayatollah has been elected in Iran. It is the oldest son of the one who was just killed, and the U.S. consulate in Dubai has been hit by an Iranian drone. Stay with Supertalk 99.7 WTN for continuing coverage on air and online. Now public video of this week's depositions from Bill and Hillary Clinton in connection with the House investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The former president answering questions about his relationship with Epstein in the early 2000s before he was charged with crimes. Clinton denying he saw anything that showed Epstein was a sex trafficker. We get more from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Clinton recalled a conversation with President Trump in the early 2000s when he said Trump told him how his relationship with Epstein fell apart.
He said, you know, we had some great times together over the years, but we fell out, all because of a real estate deal. And he said, I'm sorry it happened. That's all.
Trump has denied any wrongdoing and has described his falling out with Epstein differently, accusing Epstein of stealing employees from Mar-a-Lago.
And here in Tennessee, Tennessee Valley Authority and landowners update. Country music star John Rich posting to his X account. He met with the CEO of TVA today personally at his home, and he got them to give up all their land in Cheatham County to the private sector.
The land is being processed right now. It will go into what they call surplus, and then it will go to public auction. So it will be open to the citizens of Cheatham County to bid on that farmland, and will go back into the private sector, and they can take that piece off the board. You do not have to worry about it in the future. Yay. Huge.
John Ridge says the TVA CEO pledged to meet personally with the family that owns a Revolutionary War-era farm in Gallatin to work on something that does not include running power lines through that land. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Injury crash, Harding Pike, just south of Harding Place. Rivergate injury crash, 65 northbound at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. In Berry Hill, the crash that is partially blocking the off-ramp there, 65 northbound to I-440. And then Woodbine, an injury crash, Thompson Lane, just west of Nolensville Pike. In Hermitage, got a wreck 40 eastbound right after Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Thank you for being with us. Whatever time you're able to give us, we're certainly appreciative. A lot of you getting off work, getting in your automobiles. Traffic sucks, as you might expect. It's a Tuesday. It's a day that ends in Y in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll try to get you home with a smile on your face, however. Ninkapoop's in the news coming up in about 30 minutes or so. I've got to figure out who won yesterday. Jackson says he won, but Jackson always says that. Jackson might not make it through Ninkapoop's today. Jackson is losing his voice. And what does he have but the mellifluous tones of Jackson Williams? Jay Willie, without your voice, I don't know what you are to us.
Useless. Well,
give me
less than useless.
Give me a little more. Give me a little something.
A little gravitas.
Who won yesterday, Jackson, according to you?
That would be I.
You sound like Chris from Family Guy when he tries to be all official.
Oh.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Father. That would be I. Jackson Williams, Esquire.
What you losing your voice for, Jackson? Is it because you're batching it this week?
What?
You're all by yourself? Oh, am I supposed to say that? Well, I'm just saying.
Just me and the dog.
What's the dog's name?
Well, Dano.
Dano. I always forget Dano's name. You never forget my dog's names.
Mrs. Weasley and Munford.
That's not Mr. Munford. That's not correct. 7142. Can WTN not sell advertising? Going to commercial break makes me insane. The repetitive WTN ads is stupid. You're going to have to help me out and tell me what platform you're listening on. We sell ads separately. We certainly do sell advertising on radio, on our social media platforms, on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, our own app, Supertalk 99.7 WTN, and then the streaming platform on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. All those are kind of different. I'm not in charge of any of that. So all I hear are the radio ads, and they are not repetitive. Well, I mean, they're repetitive in the sense that you hear the same advertisers, fine advertisers. We love them all from a day-to-day basis. But I understand that on some platforms that is other people doing it. On some platforms it's us doing it. So if you are more specific, I can try to help you out in some form or fashion. Scott writes in, actually, it's not just Scott. It's a lot of people that are writing in and suggesting that, one, Jackson sounds like it's AI Jackson. Number two, it sounds like Jackson is going through puberty. And number three, it's no action Jackson this week, which I guess is a way to put it. I suppose. A lot of movie watching in the Williams household.
I'm perusing the catalog for Murphy's selection this week.
I can't get over that, man. How does he do it? Does that feel better on the old throat?
Yeah, it feels so much better.
What movies have you watched?
I've watched 8 movies.
You're not going to tell me the one from last night, right? Because
No,
you're thinking
that is your movie for Friday. I've already locked it in.
Okay. Well, tell me
if
on
I can
Friday.
say it. If not, I'll write it on a piece of paper, and Ken Weaver can tell you.
Okay. So, yeah, it's a lot of you are telling me about the app. I don't have any control over the app. I wish I did, but I don't. And if there are any issues, just forward them to me, and I will forward them along to the people that perhaps can control that a little bit more. Yes, it does sound 2375 says you sound better this way, less whiny.
I can still whine.
Okay. All right, we're talking about Iran. We had a great conversation with John Rich about the TVA and the idea that they're backing off on their Cheatham County efforts. They're selling that property. They were not going to do anything with it, so I guess they might as well sell it because of a backlash from their efforts to do something with it. And they're going to work with the Gregory family in Sumner County to be better stewards of their community with regard to what land they take through eminent domain to put major electrical lines on. We're also talking about Iran, and many of you have already gotten on the line to offer your opinions on where we are with that. Jim was on the line. I'm going to give Jim one more shot at it. Jim, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hey, Murphy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
Yeah, I hope Jackson's better. I don't know if all the bad things I was saying about him in my brain has hurt his voice, but it was my fault, not his fault. My phone was muted. I apologize, Jackson.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, were you dog cussing him on the line? Jackson, let me off. What are you doing, Jackson? I bet he was. He's dog cussing.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I get it.
So I want to talk about the boots on the ground.
Yes, sir.
The idea of the boots on the ground has changed now. If you look back World War I, World War II, boots on the ground was, full frontal assaults and stuff like that. But you compare boots on the ground of Iraq and Afghanistan to 1 week in Iwo Jima, and it's completely different nowadays. But what we need to keep in mind is one of the reasons that we keep troops in Germany is because we destroyed their army. They couldn't defend themselves against Russia, so we stayed there. Same thing with Japan, same thing with South Korea, same thing with Iraq. We had to protect Iraq from its enemies on the side. Well, now we've done the same thing to Iran. So when one of your callers said we're going to have boots on the ground, it doesn't need to be us. And it can't be the Saudis or any of the Arab nations because they're Sunni. And Iran is Shia. And I'm telling you, in the Middle East, if you have a Sunni ambulance driver who goes down the street and finds an accident where some Shias, are bleeding on the streets, they're going to leave them on the streets. This is the kind of hatred they have for each other. So if you put, I don't know if it have the Westerners boots on the ground or Shia or Sunni boots on the ground, is not going to work in Iran. The only chance we have is if they follow in Egypt's steps, because Egypt, when they overthrew Mubarak, the army sided with the people. And they made it within themselves. They still have some. You still got your political discussions like we do over here. You look at the left-wing folks of today. They have the facts and the ability to search the internet to find out the facts of how wrong they normally are. In Iran, you don't have that as much. Maybe even the bigger cities, but in the outer areas, they don't have the internet. They don't have the news. So the only chance we have in Iraq, or rather Iran, to keep them from having us to have boots on the ground is if the army sides with the people and they come together as a country, because they're still going to have to protect themselves. You can't let, the Kurds, if the Kurds decide to take a little chunk, Kurdistan is part of Iran, this is a chance for the Kurds to start taking their portion away. And we've sided with the Kurds in the past. Or Turkey, if Saudi Arabia, some other country tries to take a chunk of, Pakistan tries to take a chunk of Iran or something, there's going to have to be some kind of force there. So we can't disband the army like we did in Iraq. We have to have the army side with the people, and Iran come back to their roots as a country.
The
maybe
delicate
they change back to Persia or something. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, the delicate balance is finding a leadership apparatus that is more consistent with our values in terms of human rights, that is willing to work with the rest of the region, that is not so obsessed with the death of Israel. I mean, that's a factor, and by extension, death of America. But at the same time, and here's the tricky part, Jim, tell me if I'm wrong, the same time has the strength to control the region, because if you don't have the strength to control the region, you're right. The religious-based factions, Sunni, Shia, Kurds, they will begin warring with themselves and things will descend into chaos. That's what I worry about, is if that starts happening, then it necessitates our military engaging in peacekeeping operations, which is the last thing I want. That's what I mean when I'm talking about boots on the ground, is us having to be there to prevent a dissension into chaos.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we can't have a UN force because that turns into disaster.
Yes.
And NATO wants nothing to do with this. They've already shown they want nothing to do with this. So it's going to be a tough one. And Saudi Arabia and Iran have been in a Cold War for at least the past 10 years between the Houthis and other things. The one that kept Saudi Arabia from attacking them was, one, that's a Muslim nation, and two, was the missile force that Iran had accumulated. Now, we're taking out those missiles. We're leaving them defenseless. How are they going to protect themselves from anybody else, any little group that wants to come take a part of it? And that's the concern. They have to come together, or it's going to become a disaster in the area.
Jim, great call. Great. I mean, absolutely. I appreciate the analysis. And I mean, obviously, we all have different takes and different analysis, but I think Jim's is born in a level of information regarding some of the religious factions that exist in the Middle East and some of the issues when trying to bring those factions together. They don't like each other very much, and they're never going to like each other very much. At least I can't force that on them. 615-737-9986. In addition to our conversation about Iran, I have a request to throw out at you. We are meeting, not tomorrow, but the next day. Jackson's been invited, and he has steadfastly refused, saying that he has to prepare for the big boat show at the Nashville Fairgrounds that afternoon. But I will be on Capitol Hill Thursday morning, along with Cameron Smith, good friend of the show, as we lobby for our Trash Panda Act, giving people in the state of Tennessee an easier and better path and ability to own a pet raccoon if they so desire. Right now, you have to jump through all of these hoops and get all of these forms and regulations and all of these sorts of things. Our bill is quite simple. If you hand catch a baby raccoon and you raise it as a baby and you have it, if you go through the process of vaccinating it, you should be allowed to legally keep it. Now, that said, we're going to be on Capitol Hill this Thursday, and then we'll be back the following week as the bill gets in committee. It's going through Senate committee. I think Joey Hensley is our sponsor in the Senate, Kip Capley, our sponsor in the House. I need someone who owns a raccoon to call this radio show. Surely, I am not doing my job as a talk show host. I'm not going to feel good about myself as a human being if I don't have at least one person that listens to this radio show that knows someone or they themselves own a raccoon. But what I need is a raccoon that is, A, not going to poop everywhere, B, that is friendly enough that you have an ability to take it up to Capitol Hill with us, because we want to demonstrate that these animals can, while not fully domesticated, can make fabulous pets. And the only way to do that is to show these lawmakers that raccoons are people too. So what say you? Do you know anybody with a pet raccoon that would be willing to work with us and take it up to Capitol Hill and show it off? Male, female, I don't care. Vaccinated, please. Potty trained if able. Let us know. 615-737-9986. In the meantime, JR wants to talk about raccoons. Hey, JR, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. I don't own a raccoon now, but I've had several. I grew up in Indiana, and in Indiana, you might want to know a little about their laws. You can have a pet raccoon, although you can give it vaccinated. You can get it vaccinated, but you can't give it temperament shots. That's illegal for the vets to do. And while I had many raccoons,
wait, what? I missed something, JR. What did you say about vaccinations?
You can get it vaccinated.
Yes. Okay. Very good.
A vet can vaccinate it.
Yes.
But but a vet cannot give it temperament shots. And if you can't give it temperament shots, you have to get a raccoon and find it when it's by 3 or 4 weeks old.
Yep.
And we never took them. We never took them from their mother. we would find a dead mother, and you can tell by her breastfeeding, as to can't say the words, but you could find a dead mother along the road, and then we searched around and we'd find the babies.
Oh.
And we would then save the babies and nurse them, and we never potty trained any. We kept them outside in something like a kennel or a big. I lived out in the country, so we kept them. Some of them we put them in an old abandoned car, and they wouldn't really run off. They'd stay around, and they'd make awesome pets. They're perfect. You guys probably seen them. They sit on their hind legs and wash their food, and and they're
a little opposable thumbs. Sure.
Yep. And one of our raccoons loved when my uncle would come over. He was bald, and this is a great line. The raccoon would get on top of the refrigerator. We kept him in the house. I don't remember. I'm older now, but I don't remember him pooping. I think they must have had like a litter box or something. I don't remember cleaning them up or anything. But we had a raccoon that would get on top of the refrigerator and jump out and lay on my uncle's bald head. So therefore, a coonskin cap. And he would run across the back of the couch and do the same thing. He was fascinated with my uncle's bald head. But the trouble is, they allow you to have them, but you can't give them temperament shots.
What is help me out? What is a temperament shot?
It keeps them tame.
Okay, yeah, it keeps them. Well, I mean, obviously, the bill that we are pushing would require that you get the raccoons as babies, that you hand catch them as babies. Right, which is the method that you're describing, and that you get it vaccinated immediately, because as you well know, JR, otherwise you're not really sure if they've already acquired the rabies or not, because they don't.
Some of them we never got vaccinated, so we had several, but. Sometimes, not that I know of anyway.
But for me, this is just a basic liberty. I mean, I don't believe that this is going to cause some sort of mass influx of raccoon ownership in the state of Tennessee, but it's a basic liberty issue for me, that we expect people to be responsible for their pets and their persons and their effects on their property. And we allow people to own, certain levels of exotic animal. The raccoon is the state mammal in the state of Tennessee. For goodness sake. It's fascinating to me how many of my lawmaker friends are laughing at this when, to me, it's a basic liberty issue. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It is. It's absolutely a liberty issue. And we always treated the animals very fairly. And the trouble, though, without temperament shots, and so Indiana was free. They let you have them, but you couldn't give them shots to keep their keep them from getting wild.
Why can't you? Is it just not allowed, or does it not work?
No, it works. As far as I know, I don't. I just always knew that we couldn't go get temperament shots for them, so we never. I assume it worked.
Okay.
But you just couldn't do it. Now, one other thing is they're going to get wild by about 8 months old. So that's why I say we had several, because by about 8 months old, they're going to get wild and run away.
Yeah, they get a little squirrely. No pun intended.
And it'll happen quicker if you rough play with them. If you fight with them and stuff, they'll start to get wild earlier.
Okay.
But anyway,
well, JR,
awesome,
if you know anybody, I got to run now, but if you know anybody that owns raccoon, let me know. Hit me up on the social media and let me know, because I'm looking for somebody that's willing to go up to the Capitol Hill with us with their raccoon. 4859 says, to hell with raccoons. We want goomies and shrooms. I bet you do, 4859. I bet you do. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Friends, if someone tells you that it's not open enrollment, so there's nothing that you are able to do about your health care, those folks, you don't need to talk to those folks anymore because those folks are not telling you the truth. Friends, it's 2026 and we're into March and Obamacare's had it again. The premiums have gone up. The deductibles have gone up. And if you don't know what to do about it, then I encourage you to contact my man, Shane Ring at Cover Nash. Shane knows you don't have to play by Washington's rules. He at Cover Nash can shop the entire marketplace for you, and he can find a way to get you better insured for less money. He does it all the time, friends. And he doesn't shop one particular company or another particular company. He shops the entire marketplace. And you know that he's working for you. He is your personal health care concierge. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, it's time to get with the program. It's time to get with Cover Nash. 615-465-0023, 465-0023. Look, I don't pretend to understand everything there is to know about health insurance. I really don't. And I don't invest a lot of time in it because I've got Shane on speed dial. And Shane has the answers that you need. Real health coverage on your terms, not the government's. It's Cover Nash.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast. Another traffic update in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury rolls on. The Pentagon now identifying 4 of the 6 American troops killed in the battle so far. All soldiers that were killed, the 4 American troops that they have identified, were assigned to the 103rd Sustainment Command, an Army Reserve unit based in Des Moines, Iowa. The administration making an argument that the U.S. needed to take out Iran's missile capabilities, its abilities to hit American targets. Here's Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who says it's going to get more intense.
You're going to really begin to perceive a change in the scope and in the intensity of these attacks as, frankly, the two most powerful air forces in the world take apart this terroristic regime.
New York Post reports a new Ayatollah has been elected, the oldest son of the one who was just killed. And the U.S. consulate in Dubai was hit by an Iranian drone, and the State Department has begun securing flights for Americans to get out of the region. Right now in Tennessee, Tennessee Valley Authority and landowners. Country music star John Rich says the TVA CEO came to his house today.
Don Moll is his name. And Don came to the house by himself, no team. We sat down and met for about an hour and a half. And I explained to him all the things that TVA has done for decades and decades that have got to stop.
Rich says TVA will turn over the land it owns in Cheatham County to the private sector and wants to work directly with the Gregory family, which owns the Revolutionary War era farm in Gallatin, which TVA wants to run lines through.
We got a long ways to go with the relationship with the TVA, but this is a good start.
Rich says he gave up a chance to work on the TVA board because it would mean he can no longer fight TVA for landowners. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Rivergate, an injury crash. It's going to be 65 northbound at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. And look for one in Madison now, Gallatin Pike, north of Old Hickory Boulevard. Hermitage, a crash, 40 eastbound after Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Are you hearing this? Are you hearing that we're getting up into the 80s, the warmest weekend so far this year? That means spring is here, friends. And the Toro Spring Sales Event is happening at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply right now. It is mowing season. It is time to replace that old mower. Right now, you can save up to $300 on Toro residential zero turns and up to $70 on Toro walk mowers. They are stocked up with recyclers, Toro time cutters, Toro Titans, a Toro Z-Master mower, and they are looking to make a deal. Toro, you can count on it. Go where the pros go. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. If you're looking for quality parts, products, and the best advice, visit your one-stop Toro shop, Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. You're never too far away from a Dickens. With 7 convenient Middle Tennessee locations, visit them at one of their stores or online at DickensSupply.com. Your Toro master at DickensSupply.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll jump on the horn for a call or two prior to Ninkampoops. Ken Weaver, I've got good news and I've got bad news. Which would you like first?
The bad news.
Jackson received more votes than either of us yesterday.
Son of a biscuit eater.
Would you like the good news?
Yeah.
There were 2 credible accusations that his story was a repeat.
Oh.
It was not a repeat.
I'm just covering the news, boys.
Was not a repeat. We had the frappe on Friday, and then there was a sticky bun fight. We've had a lot of food fights, but no pickles.
Hey, Ken, his voice got a lot better. Did you notice that?
It did.
Voice picked up. Went up a couple of notches. Several of our loyal listeners, very good friends of the show and friends of yours, Jackson, want you to feel better, and they are recommending that perhaps you might want to make available to yourself some of the Dan Mandis throat coat that might be.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just going to power through it.
That might be around. He's got the slippery elm around. I could probably dig you some up if you wanted some.
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Wally's bean machine might have something in there for you.
I might check out the bean machine.
Look, he's back down to that lower register.
Out the bean machine.
I did your line. I did win too. More on that front kind of coming up in just a moment. Danny wants to talk about wildlife. Hey, Danny.
Hey, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to mention something a little bit kind of in support, maybe in a way, of what you're doing with the raccoon thing there.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've lived in several states. I've traveled a little bit. I've lived in several states in the country, throughout my life. But I actually, I get the sentiment of the laws and regulations and things, both for the good of the animals and the good of the people, and people being concerned that make those laws. I get that. But sometimes I'm from the government and I'm here to help is not always true. And it can get overregulated. And I'll give you an example. Like, I lived in one state, and to assist any wildlife in distress, any way at all, any minimal distress or whatsoever, was against the law unless you were a licensed wildlife rehabilitator or in animal control. And a veterinarian couldn't help unless they had specific licensing to work with wildlife. And to the extent that myself, probably statute of limitations to run out, I know quite a few other people, but myself, in conditions, I broke the law several times, and I could have had jail sentences and fines and stuff, and the outcome was perfectly fine. There was, I'll just give you a simple example of how stupid this is.
What?
There was a derecho or something like that, or a storm front that blew through on a nice warm, like late spring, early summer day, and this downdraft and the cold rain that came through was crazy, and immediately the temperatures went back up, and it was a nice day again. But all these birds that were about ready to leave the nest and stuff like that, just different breeds and stuff like that, were all scattered on the ground. Now, they would be dead, freeze to death just from their body temperature dropped cold if it took time to get them to a wildlife rehabber. But to take them in and just warm them up for a minute and dry them off, quite a few, they all took off and went on about their business and had happy bird lives after that. That's just one example. And yes, I mess with raccoons too and other things, but that was against the law to do that. I think it's a little bit of government overreach.
Yeah.
So I admire you for what you're doing. And,
well, thank you, Danny.
As long as people get their wits about them, that's a good thing.
Well, and obviously it's not going to be the Wild West, as they say. There will be some regulations, but we need to lessen those regulations. Right now, you have to go through a USDA licensed provider, and you have to get all these permits and nonsense. It's just garbage. Arkansas can do this, so we can do it as well. Danny, thank you for the call, and thank you for the story. It was good.
Very good.
All right.
Have a blessed.
All right, you do too. Take care. 615-737-9986. Marty wants to talk raccoons, as does Teresa. Y'all hang in there, because right now it's time to talk nincompoops.
Nincompoops in the news.
It's time for Ninkapoop's in the news. where Jackson Williams, young Jay Willie, Action Jackson, a.k.a. Truffle Butter, Ken Weaver from News Closet B, and Matt Murphy, we scour the entirety of this state of Tennessee, the volunteer state. We go all through these United States of America. Nay, we look all over the globe, and we find the nincompoops that you need to know about. You get an opportunity to vote on said nincompoops at 615-737-9986. After our three stories are presented to you, you vote Ken, you vote Jackson, or you vote correctly. That would be for me, Matt Murphy.
Hey, now, you can't say that, Brother Murphy.
Ken Weaver.
They're taking advantage of the bully pulpit.
You know what? I need to take advantage of the bully pulpit when it comes to that. I don't win enough. I've won that trophy once. And I want it back in this studio, and I want it today. And I'm not going to get it today because Ken Weaver has it for the entirety of the week.
Yeah, look what Ken Weaver can do with it when he's got it.
What do you got? What are you doing? What's he doing over there, Jack?
Putting it up to the camera.
Oh, man.
Letting everybody see it's a beautiful gold shine.
Look how cool that is. That crown, watch that. Heavy is the head that wears that crown, Ken. It also could cut you. Better watch out for that crown. Okay, Jackson.
Trophy.
Yes.
I have taken it under advisement, and I've consulted with our legal team. And I cannot find any evidence that that pickle story has been done in the past. Therefore, we're going to allow it to slide.
I think it's legit.
I think it's good. And so, Jackson, with that in mind, you won yesterday, and you are allowed to pick the order for today.
As Ken Weaver would say, ho.
It's just, I don't know what we're doing. Okay.
This is awesome.
I can't wait for your story.
The official order for nincompoops in the news: Murphy, Weaver, Williams. In that order.
The man is confident that we don't have his story.
Man.
I was going to do the story out of Oregon about the Latino politician that was on a Zoom call with other Metro councilors, and one of the Metro councilors demanded that he speak in English, and he was speaking in English, but his English was so awful they couldn't understand him. I was going to do that story, but I'm not going to pay for the paywall. I could only get to the beginning of it, so I couldn't get to the result of the story. So we won't do that story. We will do this one. It is a follow-up on a story presented to you by Ninkapoop in the News last year. But this has new developments. It is a legal battle that comes to us from Fairhope, Alabama. As protest, I should note, we rarely do this on Ninkapoop in the News, but I'm going to be saying the word penis a lot during this story, so I feel like I should offer fair warning that that word will be said on several different occasions, including the one that I just did. So y'all have been warned, except for the first one. You weren't really warned on the first one.
What word?
Penis. The legal battle continues for a woman arrested in Fairhope for wearing a controversial costume at a No Kings protest this past October. Months after her initial arrest, Renee Gamble is now facing 2 additional charges in relation to the October incident in which she was wearing an inflatable penis. Gamble's attorney, David Guespass, says she was there with a phallic costume on, holding an American flag and a sign that said "No Dictators." Y'all see what she did there?
She was trying to be clever.
She was being cute. I can't laugh. Fairhope body police camera footage shows an interaction between Gamble and the police officer. She says, "Am I being detained?" He doesn't respond, so she turns to walk away, says Guespass. He then grabs her from behind, grabbed her right on her inflatable phallic symbol, and pulled her to the ground. At the protest in October, Gamble was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. And now, months later, 2 additional charges have been filed, giving officers a false name and breaking a city ordinance relating to disturbing the peace. According to court documents, during her arrest, when officers asked for her name, she said, "My name is Antifa."
Can you spell that?
This was intended to mislead the officer. Another document explained that Gamble violated a municipal ordinance unlawfully disturbing the peace by dressing as a giant erect penis at or around a major intersection where the safety of pedestrians and or traffic was at substantial risk. That is a direct quote from the ordinance, or from the document describing the violation of the ordinance. WKRG News Channel 5, Taylor Boyson spoke with Gamble's attorney. The whole point of the costume and the sign was making a political point about the threat of a dictator. Even people who disagree with her politics say she has the right to do what she did. If it's offensive to one person, I don't know what it means. If that means it's sufficiently offensive to be offensive to the entirety of the community. Renee Gamble was arrested in October and is now facing those new charges. I have photographs of her penis outfit. If anyone wants to see it. Yes, Jackson.
Oh, no, I'm just counting the amount of times you've said that word. Like the dadgummit counter, we have that word counter. I'm not saying it. Nobody's getting an audio clip of me saying that word.
Wait, who has an audio clip of me saying that word?
Me at about 7:04 tonight.
Who am I talking? This is like talking to Jackson's dad. Jackson, wait, you're waiting. Ken Weaver, it's your turn, sir. You're Ninkapoop.
Cher's son arrested again. Found smoking a cigarette in a New Hampshire home after alleged break-in. Elijah Blue Almond, the son of pop icon Cher, arrested Sunday in New Hampshire after police say he was found smoking a cigarette on the couch after breaking into a home. It was the second time Almond has been arrested in the state in 3 days, and he doesn't even live there.
Yikes.
He lives in California.
Man.
Almond was first arrested Friday after allegedly causing a disturbance at St. Paul's School, a boarding school there in Concord, New Hampshire. Almond, again, lives in Malibu. Police in Windham, about 35 miles south of Concord, said that on Sunday they received a 911 call from a woman who said someone had broken into her home. She was hiding in a closet. A Windham police officer found fresh footprints in the snow leading to the back door. Police said the door had been shattered and broken glass was spread on the ground and inside the house. When he walked into the house, the officer said he found Almond, quote, seated on the living room couch smoking a cigarette.
Those things will kill you.
Yes, sir, it will.
Mm-hmm.
The woman said nothing appeared to be missing. She did say a pack of cigarettes and a lighter on the coffee table did not belong to her. A detective then noticed the fresh cigarette burn in the area rug in the living room.
Yikes.
They arrested Almond. They charged him with burglary, 2 counts of criminal mischief, and breach of bail.
What's his name?
Let's get up here. Elijah Blue Almond.
Is this the one that used to be a girl?
I don't know.
He's
49 years old.
There's one, I think one of Cher's, what an idiot. One of Cher's daughter, I don't know. I can't keep up. I'm gonna stop because I can't. I think there was a daughter that is now a son called Chaz or something or another. I thought that was chastity though. One way or the other, this child is a nincompoop, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Nincompoopry.
Yes, sir.
Young Jackson.
Yes.
You're nincompoop, sir.
Callers to Washington State Hotline, press 2 for Spanish. Get accented AI English instead.
It's like we're slowing it down. And I'm thinking of the Bono. I'm thinking of Chaz Bono. Anyway, it's like we're slowing it down. Go ahead.
For months, callers to the Washington State Department of Licensing who have requested automated service in Spanish have instead heard an AI voice speaking English in a strong Spanish accent. The agency has since apologized and says it fixed the problem. Washington resident Maya Edwards learned of the AI accented voice last summer after her Mexican husband tried using the Spanish language option while seeking information about his driver's license.
It's like we're watching an episode of Charlie Brown.
He is bilingual, but saw that the wait time for speaking to customer service was long, so he hit 2 for Spanish. For Edwards, it then turned into a scene out of the popular sitcom Parks and Recreation, a mockumentary-style comedy show that
we know what
satires local government. Would you guys like to hear the AI voice?
Yeah.
Thank you for calling the Department of Licensing Customer Support.
But that's supposed to be Spanish?
Yes.
Assistance with scheduling a driver licensing office appointment. cancel an existing appointment or questions about an upcoming appointment. Please.
It's like the AI bot just.
It's just like speaking of broken
on.
Spanish. Hola, it's like me doing it.
Yes.
I mean, my Spanish is basically putting O's at the end of words that don't have O's on them.
Yeah.
Yo, hello, hola, señorita. What O are we going to O?
Or excelente el presidente.
El grande, excelente presidente. Is that it, Jackson?
That's all I got. That's my Ninkapoop, the Washington State of Licensing.
So they were. It was supposed to be in Spanish,
and they just
Instead,
put an accent on it.
That's pretty awesome. 9214 says you sound like a 1960s television news anchor.
That's the news.
And that's the way it was.
And that's the way it was.
Well, Cronkite action. That's how we do it. I would not encourage you to vote for the guy holding the trophy.
Yeah,
he's
vote
very
for
excited.
Brother Ken Weaver.
Mm-hmm. You can vote for me. What was the penis count, including that one? 7? Got 7 in, y'all. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Vote early, vote often. Voting is open. It is 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. The Pentagon has released the identities of the 6 soldiers killed in those opening hours of the U.S. war against Iran and Kuwait. All 6 assigned to the 103rd Sustainment Command in Des Moines, Iowa. According to 2 defense officials, an Iranian drone killed the troops. President Trump says the U.S. and Israel are working to blunt Iran's military capabilities. Iranian forces are expanding attacks across the region, with Americans stranded and the State Department working on evacuation plans. Here's ABC's Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv.
As the war spreads throughout the Middle East, it appears all sides are preparing for a long haul. The head of Iran's National Security Council, writing on X, "We'll fiercely defend ourselves and our 6,000 years old civilization, regardless of the costs, and will make the enemies sorry for their miscalculation."
Homeland Security also issuing a critical incident note obtained by ABC News showing top Iranian clerics issuing fatwas to avenge the killing of Iran's supreme leader. This is ABC News.
Right now in Tennessee, country music star John Rich says he had a 90-minute meeting at his home with the Tennessee Valley Authority CEO Don Mold today about how the agency treats landowners. Rich says TVA will turn over its land in Cheatham County to the private sector. As for the Gregory family in Gallatin with the Revolutionary War era farm that they want to run lines through.
He said, I've been studying the map. He said, I agree the way we're doing it right now is not the best call, but I want to go meet with them in person. And I said, okay, I'll let them know.
As for the TVA land in Cheatham County, Rich says it is being processed before it goes to public auction. Now public, video of this week's depositions from Bill and Hillary Clinton in connection with the House investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, the former Secretary of State. Here's ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky on testimony from the former Secretary of State.
Hillary Clinton repeatedly told lawmakers she never interacted with Epstein or knew about his crimes.
You have compelled me to testify, fully aware that I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up.
And then Clinton learned Congresswoman Lauren Boebert leaked a photo of the closed-door deposition.
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Right now in Georgia, Colin Gray, the father of the accused Appalachia High School shooter, has been found guilty on all major charges, including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say he gave his son the rifle used in that 2024 attack, despite clear warning signs about the boy's mental state. 4 people killed in that shooting, including 2 students and 2 teachers. Gray now awaits sentencing, which has not yet been scheduled. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. I-40 westbound, we've got the off-ramp to Fessler's Lane partially blocked by a stalled vehicle. Berry Hill, this is an injury crash. Woodmont Boulevard at Granny White Pike. And then a crash Shelby Avenue right there at 4th Street. It is pretty slow going if you're eastbound 24 once you get past 440. Same goes for westbound 24 up to the northern split. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Show. It is the final hour of our Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 edition. Proud that you've decided to join us this hour. Matt Murphy currently in the lead in the Ninkapoop voting. Voting closes at 6:10 tonight. Oh, yeah. In the lead. I won't say it again. I've already said it 7 times. The word. You counted. I didn't. Jackson, any encouragement for the Jacksonian fans in the listening audience?
Please vote for the candidate who you believe had the best story.
Oh, well, thank you, Jackson. I appreciate that. That's kind of you.
615-737-9986.
It's just getting weirder and weirder. All right, we'll get to your calls coming up in moments. There was, I'm sad to report that we did not receive, we did not get a call back from Mr. Bender, Albert Bender. That is correct?
I have not had any more correspondence with Mr. Bender.
It's just so weird. I don't like this. You've got to get your voice back.
Me neither, brother.
I don't like it. It's making me uncomfortable. I feel like I'm talking to your dad. I feel like I'm going to say, I feel like I'm 17 and we're going to your room and I'm talking to your dad and he knows that we smoked some weed. That's what I feel like. That's what that voice is making me feel like. Not that we've ever done that or anything, according to as far as Mr. Williams knows. Anyway, if you are unfamiliar, Mr. Bender held a protest in front of the Metro Council. He is the chairperson of the Indigenous Peoples Council, whatever the hell that means. And he held this protest in front of the Metro Council, protesting ICE, demanding that the Metropolitan Council recognize its moral responsibility to the public welfare of the people of Nashville and Davidson County to take appropriate action against ICE at its next meeting, March 17th. No word on what that is. We are attempting to communicate with Albert Bender, who is the head of the Indigenous Peoples Coalition, to see if Mr. Bender would want to come on the show today or any day and offer his opinions on immigration and customs enforcement. We'll let you know if that happens. Speaking of nincompoops, and we were just speaking of nincompoops, what about this guy? Chris Coons is a Democrat senator. He's a senator from Connecticut. I think that's right. One of those northeastern states. I think Connecticut is correct. And he was speaking to Kristi Noem. Now, look, in the grand scheme of things, I believe that Kristi Noem has done some good. I think most of that came under the direct advice and the direct supervision of Tom Homan, who is her underling. Kristi Noem, obviously, is the Secretary of Homeland Security. But I, can be a bit frustrated from time to time as to how she comports herself and does her job but I thought this was a fabulous exchange, and it was a self-own by Chris Coons, who wanted to know if Kristi Noem had any intention of putting Immigration and Customs Enforcement at the voting place anytime this year, primaries or general election.
You rule out the deployment of ICE or CBP to polling places this November.
There are no plans to have ICE officers at our polling locations. And
I'm glad to hear that, but would you rule it out? Would you say it will not happen?
Do you plan on illegal aliens voting in our elections, Senator?
So I love it, and I'm sorry for the abrupt nature of the clip. I clipped it a little too early when I cut this up earlier today. Senator Coons, do you plan on having illegal aliens voting in our elections?
You rule out the deployment of ICE or CBP to polling places this November.
There are no plans to have ICE officers at our polling locations. And
I'm glad to hear that, but would you rule it out? Would you say it will not happen?
Do you plan on illegal aliens voting in our elections, Senator?
Do you plan on illegal aliens voting in our elections, Senator? Because you see what Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Patrol, what they do, their directive is to seek out individuals in the United States of America illegally, to find those people, to apprehend them, and take them back to their countries of origin. So if you are a legal resident, you have nothing to fear from Immigration and Customs Enforcement. You show your appropriate documentation, and there you go. Now, I wish that Senator Coons had as much concern for legal and illegal voting practices in blue states as he seems to have about people getting all up in their own feels regarding seeing an Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer. By the way, police officers are not the bad guys. And Democrats are desperate to characterize these people. And these two things go hand in hand, right? This Albert Bender story, where he says that all ICE agents are racist, all ICE agents are white supremacists. Does Albert Bender know that there are black ICE agents, that there are brown ICE agents? Plenty of them. Well, what are those people? I remember, it reminds me of a conversation I had years ago with a Black Lives Matter individual, the head of Black Lives Matter in Birmingham, Alabama. And my partner at the time, Andrea Lindenberg, and myself had this fella, well, there was two of them, in studio with us, and they're like, oh, all blue is racist. All police officers are racist. Police officers are taught to be racist within the academies, and they're racist. This person wanted to disband all policing, which was kind of stupid because I got him to admit, I was like, well, what do you do? How do you control neighborhoods? And he goes, oh, well, we'll appoint individuals to be neighborhood watch. And I said, well, how do you know who those people are going to be? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if we don't have any police officers anymore, and you're going to appoint individuals within the neighborhood and give them authorization to patrol the neighborhoods, then how do we know who those people are? And he said, well, we'll give them shirts or something. I said, oh, well, you should probably give them cars too. And, put insignia on their cars. And I don't know, just to prevent people from impersonating them, maybe you should give them badges as well. Are you going to arm them so that they can protect themselves? Because you moron, you're talking about the police department. Anyway, during the course of that conversation, Mr. Bender reminds me of this. I asked him, I said, well, you're saying that all police officers are racist. What about black police officers? Are they racist too? And he looked me in the eyes and said, they're not black, they're blue. What about brown people? They're not brown, they're blue. How wonderful is it to be that dumb? How exceptional is it to be able to have that dumb of an argument and to promote it on a 100,000-watt radio station? All cops are racists. What about black cops? They're not really black. What about brown cops? They're not really brown. They're all white, and they're all racist. They're blue, and they're racist. So we boiled it down to any black person. This is what this guy told me several years ago, that any black person that joins the police force is an Uncle Tom, and they bend the knee to Whitey. That's what he told me. Why do I feel like Albert Bender believes the same thing about the brown and the black officers of Immigration and Customs Enforcement? Just get that feeling, don't you? We were talking earlier about raccoons. I need a raccoon to take to Capitol Hill. Uh-oh. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I heard that.
I heard that. My voice is changing, too. That worries me, Jackson. Are you sure you don't have something? Well, are you sure you don't have something contagious?
I don't have anything contagious.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Teresa's next up. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Hello, Teresa. 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 Hello. It's very unfortunate. All right, I'm going to put them back on hold and go to Marty, who is next up. Hey, Marty, how are you?
Hi, good evening.
Hey, Marty.
Hey there. We had 3 raccoons when I was growing up. 2 here in Middle Tennessee, and 1 I was in college in Memphis. And 1 we adopted from another family. It was an adult, and 2 we raised as babies. So I don't have a raccoon anymore, but they were indeed great pets. And the caller you had on previously, who wasn't sure where his raccoons went to the bathroom, our raccoons pretty much acted like cats. They used the litter box. They ate cat food. They would play in the bathtub, however, when you put a little water in there with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have a big time.
Wait, so you can litter box train raccoons?
Absolutely. And ours were trained quite, whether, you consider training a dog or a cat, they were easier to train than a cat, but they had their own opinions on things, more so than dogs. And we did get, they got rabies shots. I don't know about, I've never heard of a temperament shot. I know that dogs get distemper shots. And what I don't recall is if they got rabies shots like a cat would get or a dog would get. But
yeah, I think the gentleman that was talking about temperament, I think he was talking about distemper.
that would be my guess. And I was in junior high and high school, I think, when we had 2 of the raccoons. One we adopted from another family, so it was full grown, and it was cage raised, so it was accustomed to being in a cage at night. The other one was raised like the cats and the dogs, so it would go outside, it would come in at night, it would play in the house, go to the litter box, it would go to the door if it wanted to go outside. It would eat the cat food, and the dogs, it didn't eat dog food because the dogs would growl at it. But playing with the raccoon, they do make something of a sound. It's not a purring sound like a cat, but there's a happy sound that they make when they're content. And they really were incredible pets, growing up, because we had cats and dogs, and
Do they
it had gold.
they learn their names?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you able to, would they come when you called them?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. And they would go outside. Now, I will say my mother would take them outside with her when she was working in her flower garden. And it was the following spring, so the adult raccoon probably was the leader, and the little one was maybe about a year old, and they wandered off. Mama assumed because it was getting ready for mating season, and they were not neutered, so eventually they didn't come back. But we never had them get ill-tempered. One of them, we had a big rat that got in the house at some point, and the little raccoon cornered the big rat. Then we had to put him in a cage along with the rat to make sure that the rat didn't have rabies. And the baby raccoon, well, he wasn't a baby, he was a year old. He cried and cried because he'd never been in a cage.
Oh.
And yeah, it was sad. But the fellow was talking about running on the back of a couch. He would do that, and then they put their hands in your ear. They love to explore gaps and holes, and they would go up the curtains and run around the curtain rod. So that wouldn't necessarily, Mama wasn't too happy about
All right. I want, I'm going to ask forgiveness and not permission. I've got to get a raccoon into the studio to investigate this more. This effort was never about me owning a raccoon, but that's the way that it might end up. These are great stories. Marty, I'm glad that you called. I've got to run. 615-737-9986. We'll get to Teresa and maybe Kenny in a moment. I'm looking. The reason I bring this up, we've got we call it the Trash Panda bill. Trash Panda, of course, stands for something. All your bills have to stand for something. Trash Panda stands for Tennessee Raccoon Adoption, Safety, and Habitat Protection and Nurturing Domestic Animal Act. Trash Panda Act. TRASHPANDA Act. Trash Panda Act. Ownership of just to tell you, we're serious about this. This bill is going up next week. We're going to be on the Hill lobbying it Thursday. And then next week, Senator Joey Hensley in the Senate side and Kip Capley in the House side, they're presenting our bills in committee. We've talked to TWRA and other organizations associated with this. In Tennessee, the ownership of raccoons is heavily restricted under current wildlife regulations. State law classifies raccoons as non-traditional domestic animals and imposes numerous regulatory burdens on ownership. Those restrictions are ridiculous, needlessly expands the state bureaucracy, does not protect the public. These are the type of regulations that ought to be removed. We don't believe in nanny state government in the state of Tennessee. Secondarily, the raccoon is the state mammal, for goodness sake. They're based on outdated assumptions that raccoons cannot be safely integrated into domestic environments. This has been proven wrong time and time again. Now, obviously, you have to limit the ability in catching these animals because of the nature of the rabies vaccine. You can get them vaccinated. Vaccination, one of the primary concerns about raccoon ownership has been disease transmission, particularly rabies. Veterinary medicine has made significant strides in ensuring the safety of raccoons as domestic pets. Raccoons can be vaccinated against rabies and other zoonotic diseases, just like cats and dogs and ferrets. Proper veterinary care and regulated breeding programs would mitigate health risks, rendering past concerns virtually obsolete, and any responsibility would obviously be on the raccoon owner. So that's where we are. Jackson, I need you to do me a favor. But before you do, I have a question.
Yes.
Have you seen the feature film Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
By audience request, they're demanding in the voice that you necessarily have to use today because you're losing your voice, they're demanding that you say it puts the lotion on its skin or it will get the hose again.
Murphy puts the lotion on his skin or else he gets the hose again. Back after this on Super Talk.
The Wellness Institute of Nashville is your one-stop shop for all things pain-free life. And pain-free living is what we want. That's what we strive for, right? Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute, they're good folks. They sponsor Ninkapoops on a daily basis. They have a great attitude, a great spirit at the Wellness Institute. And it's all about helping you eliminate your pain. Whether you hurt in your back, your neck, your knees, your hips, your elbows, wherever it might hurt, they have new technologies that are available for you. Obviously, they have the spinal decompression, which is so important in alleviating pain. I know it did for me. But right now, they also have the HydroWave, which is the brand new technology that only can be found at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I mean, the only place in Tennessee to find it. So nobody else is doing this. It stimulates your very own stem cells in your body to regenerate tissues, to grow new blood vessels. It's a healing process called angiogenesis. And Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they're on top of it. They're always on the cutting edge of new technology to help you live a pain-free life without having to pop pills, without having to resort to surgery, without having to take pain blockers. That's what it's all about, folks. Get to the Wellness Institute. Call them today at 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or painisbad.com, painisbad.com. Tell them Murphy sent you to the Wellness Institute. All right, he's Ken Weaver. My name's Matt Murphy. Jackson Williams is being creepy. Super Talk 99.7 WT, and he's taking requests. Let me get this straight. The folks we elected are concerned with an animal that has opposable thumbs. That says a lot about us. No, I, my friend, am concerned about freedom and the freedom for us to act independently from our government overlords on Capitol Hill in Nashville, Tennessee. That's what it's all about. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't think I'm wearing this shirt again. I think I'm done with this shirt. What do you think? No? Yeah? I think I'm done with the shirt. Too open at the top. I don't like it. Teresa's next up. Hey, Teresa, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing well.
First thing I want to say, I love 99.7. I live in Huntland, Tennessee. And, yes, I had a baby coon. My father was actually a coon hunter. So when I was growing up, and we had kennels, and everything, I told him I wanted to pet coons. So he brought me one home. Best pet I ever had in the whole world.
Oh, what was your raccoon's name?
Thomas. I named it after my first grade boyfriend.
Bet it was nicer to you.
Oh yeah, it wore diapers. It sucked a bottle, and it would hold its bottle with it all fours.
Oh.
And yes, it would. Like I said, and too, as it got a little older, like we had sinks in the garage because my dad, like I said, my dad was a kennel. I lived on a farm, and when I'd wash my hands, the cleanest animal too, I had to add, it would wash its little hands. It put its little hands under the faucet and rub its little hands. They said they wash their hands before they eat anything. Did you know that? In the wild, they wash their hands in the streams and everything before they eat.
Oh, well, that's nice and clean.
Yes, so yeah. And I mean, that was a long time ago, but I was thinking about, I would like to have another one too after I've been hearing y'all talk about it, because mine didn't have any shots or anything. So, and even the coonhounds, was friends with Thomas. So that's just wanted to share that. And
well, I'm very glad you did. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And like I said, it was the best pet. I have animals now. But I grew up like that. But it was the best pet I ever had. He was very smart. He knew his name, and he walked around. And, a lot of times they stand up on their back legs, too, like a little baby.
Well, they're very cute. There's no question about it. They make, I mean, I've heard so many stories. I mean, they're not domesticated. And thank you, Teresa, for your story. They're not domesticated. In other words, I mean, the vast majority of raccoons are still wild. But if you raise them as babies, you can tame them, which is a little bit different than domestication. That said, we're going for this, not necessarily because they're so darn cute and of all of these stories, but we're going for this because it's basic freedom. I mean, it's liberty. It's your ability to live a life of your own choosing without the nanny state of government coming in and dictating to you what you may or may not do. Now, several of you are saying, what about the squirrels and what about the otters and what about the this and that? Allow us to walk before we run. Let's walk before we run. If we start talking otters and squirrels and foxes and all of these other things, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. We need to start with the raccoon, and then we can move on from there. Speaking of raccoons, I mentioned Chris Coons earlier today, who is a United States Senator. He is not from Connecticut. He is from the state of Delaware. And I should have known that from Joe Biden's home state. My goodness gracious. 31 after the hour, just at 32 after the hour. Check that on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Genesis Diamonds. And, man, I've been telling you about this huge pre-owned Rolex sale they're having this weekend, and they're blowing it out, folks. If you've ever thought about owning a Rolex and you just believe that it's out of reach, and many of us, I can understand that. It's a little too much. Well, it is not too much. And Genesis Diamonds is the biggest pre-owned Rolex owner or dealer in the United States of America, and you could be a Rolex owner by the end of this weekend. It's this Friday and this Saturday. If you've always wanted one or you're looking to add to your collection, do not miss this epic two-day sale featuring stunning new selections of these hard-to-find watches. I'd ask the question, and they always have these great names for some of the brands and some of the lines that they have, like Pepsi, Batman, Daytona, Submariner. They've got them all. Genesis has the most popular models in pristine condition, some still in the box, never before worn. During this event, you can take advantage of special financing, up to 5 years financing at Genesis Diamonds on approved credit. Green Hills and Cool Springs. At Genesis, it's this Friday and this Saturday. If you already own a Rolex, bring and trade it in or sell it outright for top dollar. Plus, you can find a new one for yourself, for your family member at Genesis. See store for details while supplies last and on approved credit. Genesis Diamonds this Friday, this Saturday, Green Hills and Cool Springs. It is sad to say, but break-ins are still an issue in Middle Tennessee, and there's really no end in sight. The only thing you can do is empower yourself through the help of Nashville Safe House to make sure that you, your family, and your valuables are safe. With gold and silver prices at record-breaking levels, break-ins are increasing. We have customers at Nashville Safe House, that is, coming in daily because of break-ins in their neighborhood, or they've been a victim, sadly. They had one customer at Nashville Safe House. Mark was telling me this story, that lost almost $250,000 in a break-in before they secured their valuables in the proper fashion. Boy, oh boy, that's a hard lesson to learn, but they learned it. With a high-security safe from the Safe House, you can avoid learning that lesson the hard way. The Safe House has the best selection of safes in Middle Tennessee. They're the only dealer for Fort Knox safes in the area. They're the largest and friendliest Browning dealer in the world. And I just want you to protect yourself, protect your family from that which can protect those items that you protect your family with. A gun safe is always sales tax free at Nashville Safe House. Go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com. That's NashvilleSafeHouse.com. See Matt Murphy's safe there in the lobby area. See the Employee of the Year, Donald J. Trump. And see Jill, the rest of the team at Nashville Safe House. Across from City Cemetery, available anywhere online at NashvilleSafeHouse.com. 4th Avenue South in Nashville. So they have named a successor to the Ayatollah. How long do you think he lasts? Or she? Made myself laugh. Get it? I don't know how long. 5467 says, my friends and I have a pool going on his lifespan. I've got 2 days. And then he goes on to say there are some Americans in jail in Iran. Lord, what a terrible place to be right now. No doubt about it. The Pentagon has identified 4 of the 6 U.S. service members that have been killed in action thus far in this effort, this conflict. The Department of War identified 4 of the 6 that were killed in a drone attack in Kuwait earlier this week. They are Captain Cody A. Cork, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's Khork, Cork. Captain Cody R. Cork, 35, of Winter Haven, Florida. Sergeant First Class Noah L. Tegens, 42, of Bellevue, Nebraska. Sergeant First Class Nicole Amor, pardon me. AMOR, Nicole Amor, 39, of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And Sergeant Deshaun Crody, or Cody. I'm going to do all of these again. Captain Cody A. Cork, 35, of Winter Haven, Florida. Sergeant First Class Noah Tegens, 42, of Bellevue, Nebraska. Sergeant First Class Nicole Amor, 39, of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And Sergeant Deshaun Cody, 20, of West Des Moines, Iowa. All died March 1st in Kuwait during an unmanned aircraft system attack while supporting Operation Epic Fury. The 4 soldiers were assigned to the 103rd Sustainment Command in Des Moines, Iowa, according to the military. Officials say the incident is under investigation. 2 additional service members were killed in the attack. They've not yet been publicly identified, pending notification of their families. We don't want anybody to die in this conflict, but we've already had 6 that have. CENTCOM has said that nearly 2,000 targets have been hit in Iran during Operation Epic Fury thus far, saying that they're ahead of the game plan. The commander of U.S. Central Command saying that as we enter the 4th day, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper said that more than 50,000 U.S. troops, 200 aircraft fighters, 2 aircraft carriers, and long-range bombers are now participating in the operation. He described the deployment as the largest U.S. military buildup in the Middle East in a generation. He said coalition forces have severely degraded Iran's air defenses, destroyed hundreds of ballistic missiles. U.S. forces have destroyed 17 Iranian naval vessels, adding that no Iranian ships are currently operating in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or the Gulf of Oman. Iran retaliated by launching more than 500 ballistic missiles, over 2,000 drones, though Cooper said Tehran's ability to strike U.S. forces and its partners is declining. Overall assessment, we are ahead of the game plan, which is good news. Kenny has thoughts on raccoons. Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm great, man.
I appreciate what you do. I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be sporting a raccoon hat when you come to the Cordell Hall?
Well, I'm going to have to, right, Kenny? I mean, that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're the one that gave it to me.
Yes, sir.
This is my man, Kenny, who runs. If y'all don't know, Kenny, the man on this phone, runs Cordell Hall. Absolutely runs.
Well, it's a team effort, sir. It's a team effort.
Well, I appreciate the raccoon hat. I got it in my closet at the homestead in Mount Pleasant, and I will be sporting it Thursday morning.
Well, you know, Davy Crockett was kind of famous for that back in the day, and there's rumors he might have wore it around there once or twice, so you'll have to step up and match him, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm going to do my best.
All right. If you get close, holler at me. I know you're busy, but I just want to say hello.
Yeah, I'll say, Kenny, you're the most important guy for me to see on Thursday. I'm not kidding. I'll see you on Thursday.
Buddy.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend.
All right, you do too. Take care. There's Kenny. Kenny is a great guy, and he's got all of the story. He knows where all of the bones are buried over there at Cordell Hull. And he sent me, via Scott Sapicki, he sent me a raccoon cap. That was how we got our raccoon cap. Scott thinks it's so funny. He's going to think it's funny when we get this bill to the floor of the House of Representatives, and I hold him at his word because he told us on the radio together that he would be voting in favor of the legislation if it got to the floor. And then, Mr. Summer Steady. Nah, not Summer Steady. Scott writes in and says, with all of the concern with sleeper cells, I'm wondering what kind of damage that people who work at airports around the country could do. Anybody who flies, we see the folks from Muslim-majority countries that are working in baggage, TSA, et cetera. I'm flying to Montana Thursday. It's definitely on my mind. I had a couple of friends who went to Washington, D.C. this week, and they communicated with me, not a fear, but you have to be concerned. What happened in Austin is not limited to Austin. Sad to say it, but we have been far too lax in our vetting practices with regard to immigration in the United States of America, legal and otherwise. Obviously, we need to eliminate the illegal aliens that are currently here. But I would go a step further. We need to tighten and strengthen our ability to put people back on planes or back on boats or however they got here if they do not demonstrate a loyalty to these United States of America. Our Constitution is not a suicide pact, nor do people around the globe have some sort of human right to come to the United States of America. And if you do not comport yourself, and I include people like Ilhan Omar in this, if you do not comport yourself in a manner consistent with the belief that the United States of America is the greatest country on God's green earth, and that if you have fealty to any nation, it's to the United States, not Somalia, not anywhere else, the United States of America, then you can get the hell out. Why is that so scary to say? Why is that such a dangerous sentiment? Every person that is allowed the benefit of coming to the United States of America should first and foremost benefit the United States of America. Let me say that one more time for those in the back, for those of you in Aniana, so you can get it. Anyone who enjoys the benefit of coming to the United States of America must first demonstrate their benefit to the United States of America. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. Nothing. Our United States should not be the orphanage for the rest of the world. Now, obviously, we are a humanitarian people, and we try to make exceptions for those going through humanitarian crises. But you still need to provide benefit to this country. That benefit can come in many different forms and fashions. That benefit can come through labor. That benefit can come through wisdom or intelligence. That benefit can come through education and training. But every person that comes here, either temporarily or permanently, should demonstrate an appreciation for this country for what we are. And we haven't been doing that. We haven't been doing that at all. We have people all over the United States of America, legal and illegal, who don't give one damn about this country. And that's a problem that needs to be addressed. You either demonstrate a sense of loyalty or you can get out. Now, forget about the freeloaders. The freeloaders need to go first. Forget about the illegal aliens that have committed other criminal acts. They need to go right now, if not yesterday. I'm not talking about illegal aliens. I'm talking about people that have gotten here legally, that have no interest in assimilation, that have no interest in our culture. I'm not against you keeping aspects of your culture, but the aspects of your culture that remain should be subservient to the way that we do our business in our country. What is wrong with saying that? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with saying that. And if you look back at the history of this gross, thankfully, DRT, dead right there individual in Austin, Texas, he was using America. Using America. Ilhan Omar is using America. Ilhan Omar should get down on her knees every day of her life and thank God or whoever she prays to for the blessings of this country, that she was able to, as a refugee, come to the United States of America, build a life for herself, so much so that she was made a United States citizen and elected as a U.S. representative. She should be thanking God for this country. Instead, she trashes it every moment of every day that I see her on television. It's sickening. And why do we allow this to go on? Because we're just a better people? I'm sick of it. There's not a dang thing wrong with saying this. That if you want to come to America, you have to demonstrate an appreciation for the United States of America. You have to admit that there's, to yourself and publicly, that there's a reason why you're coming here. And if you don't want to do that, maybe you shouldn't come here. It's 8 till the top on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Spring is about to sprung. That's probably not proper grammar, but it is easy for me to say because it's hot today. It's getting hotter over the course of the weekend. And friends, as spring is right around the corner, it may be time for you to get a little personal spring tune-up at Grace Point Healthcare. What about that? Seasonal allergies are here. Don't forget about it, and don't suffer in misery again this year. Get complete testing and treatment so you can enjoy everything that the season has to offer. With age and certain lifestyle comes changes to hormones. Grace Point Healthcare also offers comprehensive testing and treatment for men and women to get your body back into its normal rhythm. Get the most out of your physical tune-up with a B12 injection. They're reliable and healthy, and they're a great way to increase energy, boost mental function, and improve mood regulation. I might get Jackson one of those B12s. I think maybe that's what he needs. Get him, get a little pep in that step. New patients, by the way, if you mention B12 shots and Matt Murphy, you'll get a free B12 injection with your new patient treatment. How about that? Free through the end of March. All you've got to do is mention me, Matt Murphy, and the fact that you heard about the B12 shots on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Grace Point Healthcare, they're modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. They are a direct pay format physician's care facility, and I absolutely adore them. Located in the heart of Franklin, 599-6868, 599-6868. I have a big announcement to make. It is in regard to Ninkapoops in the news. Jackson.
I won.
You did not.
Brother Weaver.
No?
Well, that's all the contestants, so I don't know. Was there a tie?
Not today, Jackson. Not today. Matt Murphy has secured himself a victory this week.
Oh, I'm going to have to go recount these votes. I believe there is something afoot.
Go right. Well, no, there's a foot in a mouth, and that's your foot into your mouth. That's what I would say. No, I'll do the recounting with you at 7:02 while you're digging up the 7 different times that I said the word penis on the radio.
Nope, somebody already sent it to me.
Nope, somebody already sent it to me.
Maybe my voice will be back tomorrow.
Hello, precious. Precious. You don't know what pain is. People are saying you sound like Buffalo Bill. Good flick. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah? You've seen it. Yeah? Okay. Jackson's out. That's fine. War is the ability or the mechanism by which we use arms to settle differences. Tribal, political, religious, cultural, material, lines in the sand, organized groups. This is what happens. The general laws of armed conflict say that based on the consistency of human nature, this is the manner in which we do things. But the manner in which we engage remains fluid, and Donald Trump is changing that dynamic before our very eyes. President Trump has introduced a new way to wage war. And as Victor Davis Hanson said it earlier today in a great column that he wrote, his doctrine is simple. Strike first at the guilty, strike hard from afar, and to hell with the nation building. Let's hope that any and all of this works. Let's pray for our troops tonight as they are in harm's way, always. For Jackson Williams, for Ken Weaver, and for the rest of the crew at Supertalk 99.7 WTN, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Matt Murphy speaking and saying, hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.